And welcome to the WAN show, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a fantastic show lined up for you today. Ram Bam, thank you for the correction, ma'am. Buildzoid has stepped up to correct what I said on our Prime Day stream earlier, although, frankly, it probably wasn't necessary since we've got the one and only Ryan Shrout and the equally one and equally only Tom Peterson, formerly of PC Perspective and NVIDIA, and now currently both at Intel, working on Intel Art Graphics, so they're going to be chatting about that. That's one of our other main topics today. What else we got, Luke? What are we going to talk about?
We're going to talk about some events that we're hosting that are coming up, one of them being the LAN, one of them being something you've never heard of before. Also, Unity acquires IronSource, an ad tech company. What does that mean for games?
Really?
Probably bad things.
You picked that?
Probably horrible things.
I don't even want to talk about
Time
that.
to talk about bad stuff.
No, it's horrible, and I don't want to. I refuse. Pick something else.
Nope, we're going to talk about it.
Oh, no. I didn't know about that. Did that happen today?
The show is brought to you by Squarespace, Wealthfront, and Axiom. I think it makes sense to start with our first topic, and you guys can weigh in, okay? So we've got Linus with his casual, off-the-cuff comment on cast latency versus actual RAM frequency and the importance of trade-offs between them. And then we've in the other corner, we've got Buildzoid with the actually that's very important. So I applied a very old, very general, very inaccurate rule of thumb when I said something along the lines of, if you have a full, that's where we get into the nuance. If you have a bin of speed versus a bin of latency, one versus the other is probably about the same. So if you were to go up one bin in megatransfers per second in your actual frequency, while also increasing your latency by one bin, then it's probably about the same as having a little less frequency and a little less latency, was the generalization that I made. And back in the DDR1 days, that was probably a fairly fair thing to say. These days, it resulted in a video from Buildzoid correcting me because it is not actually accurate. So, Trout, do you want to take a crack at what I got wrong before I...
No, I actually don't, because as we've gone from DDR through to 4 to now 5, like I wouldn't know how to equate the deltas you get from a latency jump and a frequency jump. I know there has to be some trade-off, but this is the risk you take when you talk in a very public setting.
You say anything.
Right? When you say anything, and I lived in that world. I know what it's like to be corrected mildly in those ways.
What I said was that going from 5,200 megatransfers per second CL40 down to 4,800 megatransfers per second CL38 is probably a trade-off that isn't going to matter that much at the end of the day. However, this is not entirely true. YouTuber Actually Hardcore Overclocking, aka Buildzoid, released a video titled "Tech YouTubers Need to Stop," all caps, doing this when talking about RAM, where he provided us with, this is editorialized, I'm not the one who wrote this, a minor correction regarding how we talk about RAM. Because at the end of the day, when we're talking about the decisions that you make regarding a large purchase like a gaming PC, these little differences actually do matter. Because if you pick, it's been a concept for a video I've wanted to do for a long time, the unoptimal PC, where in every component where for every component you pick a worst in class component. So you know how you can have a thermal paste that will maybe help you shed 3 degrees,
sure,
which might help you turbo 0.25% more, right?
Yes.
So at every turn, we pick the one that is 5% or 3% or 1% worse. And then at every turn, we take the component that is 5% or 3% or 1% better. And then we drag race those two against each other to actually talk about the importance of these little decisions whether it's RAM, GPU, motherboard. I mean, motherboard's one. We hardly even talk about the performance differences between motherboards anymore. Why? Because it's all down to a couple of percent here and there. But
They stack.
they stack.
Yeah.
They stack, and it matters. I love that you took the smart path and said nothing, which is what I should have done.
But see, what I actually want to do is challenge Tom, because Tom has a lot of experience in I don't know if you know this, he was an inventor of a very important memory technology that we use
Every day.
Every day.
So NVIDIA, back in the day when I worked there, I was in the chipset business first.
You were NForce?
I was NForce.
When it was good?
Yeah.
Or when it was bad?
No, before Intel killed it, I was in NForce. Yeah. Can I say that? Yeah. And so part of that job, we were trying to figure out how do you differentiate in chipsets versus Intel, which is hard, right?
Well, you had GeForce MX, which is actually how you guys sold me my first motherboard.
Is that right?
I had an MX 440 so I could play Warcraft 3. I didn't play any hardcore
Nice.
games, but NForce 2 with GeForce MX, I actually got a Soltec MRN2L motherboard. Remember that golden flame, golden flame motherboard?
Wow.
And that was enough of a differentiator that I didn't want VIA. I didn't want any of the other chipset makers for AMD. I think SIS was still in the business at the time.
Yeah.
And I went NVIDIA for GeForce MX graphics.
God bless you.
And they sucked, but
God bless you.
but they were so much better than Intel's graphics.
Oh, wait.
At the time,
this story just took a real weird turn.
And that's my cue to exit.
Gotta go.
So okay, so you were with the NForce team
Yes.
then. Okay, tell me about that.
All right. So there's at the time we were good friends with Corsair. John Beek. I know him. He's a great guy, and Andy and all those guys. And we're trying to figure out, hey, how can we partner closer with these guys? And we came up with a concept called EPP and SLI memory. EPP stands for Enhanced Performance Profiles.
Yes.
Intel called us and said, good idea. We want to get on board. So they joined it. And there was a little consortium that Intel pushed to JDEC, and it became XMP. So
Really?
shit. Yes.
I did not know that.
Yes.
That is so cool. Or
I still have-
DOCP if you're AMD. Although nobody calls it that.
I still have an original SLI memory DIMM that we did. And it basically SLI branded memory had EPP.
Now the SLA branded memory didn't last very long.
And some of it, quite frankly, no offense, was dog shit. I remember there were these OCZ DDR2
yes.
SLI modules that were
great,
atrocious.
Unbelievably good.
The compatibility was
unbelievably good.
We're fast forwarding a little bit in my career at that point. So we're in the DDR2 phase. I'm working at NCIX as our coordinator for our high-end systems. And so I was actually the one, whenever we got an order for like a $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 system, I think the highest end one I ever built was like a 10 grand system. And this was without paint jobs. We didn't take shortcuts when we built a $10,000 system main gear, Falcon Northwest. It had, I forget how many Raptor X, 10,000 RPM drives it had in it. But this buddy who bought it, I actually met the customer. Like, we had such a white glove experience that I actually drove to his house to like fix it for him when he had some kind of, to upgrade it for him when he wanted new hardware later. Like, these customers were very babied by me personally.
Wasn't it like a boutique that just grew out of nothing? You weren't originally doing this, right?
Oh man, I could talk about that for a while. I wanted to. We were selling a lot of boxes, but we were doing it at no margin. We were actually, it's funny how the industry has come full circle, because we were actually doing the same thing that, balls. What is there? It's kind of like what NZXT is doing with Build, where they sell the components and then there's like a fixed build fee. And, I forget who else is doing it. I think, does Main Gear have a brand that they do that with as well? I know there's one that we actually like work with quite frequently. Bell, do you remember who it is?
What do they do?
The one that has the fixed fee and then you just buy all the hardware at like market prices.
Build Redux?
Redux, yes, Redux. Okay. Thank you. So it's come full circle, and like now the boutique builders are actually getting into that business because it is a really good way to move boxes. You get your volumes up with your suppliers, you get more MDF, and you also just have work for your workers to do in between the few and far between that are ordering $5,000, $6,000, $10,000 systems, right? So Anyway, so I wanted to move from these just white box generic boxes of random custom components into standardizing our builds so that we never ended up with a Rampage Extreme in anything again. NForce, by the way, that board literally had a 50% RMA rate for us.
Really?
Literally 50%. It was awful.
That sounds bad.
When Asus launched ROG, because it was with that board,
Yeah.
I was like, this brand is doomed. Because this is the worst product that we have ever seen cross our threshold.
I don't remember this. I mean, I blacked out
Yeah,
somewhere.
you must have blocked it. So I was pushing us internally to become more of a boutique system builder. And part of that, because nobody else cared about this project, was that I hand built all of those systems. So I remember this system for this baller guy who the first time I worked with him, he was a day trader. And when I went to upgrade his system, he was a professional online poker player. That was all he did. And he needed the fastest system apparently for that.
This is the same guy?
Yeah, this is the same guy.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So when I hand built his system with OCZ SLI memory modules, that memory will be baked into my brain forever because I couldn't figure it out. It would work with 2 in these slots, and then it would stop working with 2 in those slots, and then it would work with 2 in these slots, then it would randomly work with 4 in all of the slots. I haven't changed a thing.
I saw the reach.
I did. I saw the reach.
of the button.
You can see he was working himself up, right? And then all of a sudden went for the button.
But hey, I mean, XMP
Steve
had some challenges, but I would say today, other than the awkward detail that Intel technically voids your warranty for using it.
Oh, is that true?
It's really great and works pretty well. Yeah, technically
know
it's
that.
overclocking.
And Intel doesn't
Is
allow
my
that.
understanding. That's why some
Wow.
OEMs will stick with JDEC rather than enabling XMP, particularly the tier 1s.
Okay.
That is the reason I've been given. I could be mistaken, and I'm sure that I'm going to get an angry email from you or maybe a correction video from
No.
Buildzoid.
I'd like to, can I add one point of clarification?
Yes.
Overclocking is delightful on ARC, and it's not voiding your warranty.
I knew he was going to bring us there. All right, let me finish this topic, and then, yeah, I do want to talk to you guys about that. So Buildzoid said, cast latency, and this, yes, is how many clock cycles it takes for RAM to access data in one of its columns. So if you are running at a higher frequency, and the frequency, and this is for reasons I don't fully understand, but we do RAM frequency in mega transfers per second. For some reason, even though it's a cycle, we don't call it a hertz. Anyone help?
Why?
Yeah,
Because it's an I. So if you think about it, it's a differential signal.
sure.
And it's kind of like you can count it as 2 transfers. So sometimes people double it. So calling it a op makes it clear that you don't double.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right. So the cast latency is how many of these cycles, these transfers per second, it takes for RAM to access data in one of its columns. All right. So a 4800 CL38 technically actually has longer latency than a 5200 CL8 RAM module. Now that I knew. What I didn't do the math on was whether the 5200 CL40 was enough to counter out 4800 CL38. So you can have a faster module that runs at higher megatransfers per second, and it can have a higher cast latency while having lower overall latency in nanoseconds, which is what actually matters. So Buildzoid did the math. Thank you very much. The 5200 megatransfers per second CL40 kit actually not only has higher bandwidth by 8%, but 3% lower actual latency too. So I was wrong.
Get owned.
Effective latency.
Damn.
Effective latency.
Yes.
Lamb.
However, when comparing between two kits, each only a single JDEC spec away from one another, the performance difference remains relatively small. So my advice still remains, depending on the pricing, you want to go with whatever makes the most sense for your budget, unless you are getting into very high performance tiers, which I don't believe we were looking at the time, where you really are trying to eke out every last percent. There is a helpful chart from Crucial Source 2 that actually shows how timings have remained very similar across many specs of RAM from DDR to DDR5, and this is kind of cool. So why don't we pop this up? Crucial actually occasionally publishes some very, very cool blog posts. Do you guys mind popping us over onto the bottom right real quick? I actually used some blog posts from Crucial when I was doing up our video on DDR5. We collaborated with G-Skill on it, and then we also turned to there's this company, I forget what they're called, but they make PCB design software, and they had an amazing blog post on the challenges around designing DDR5 traces. And I was like, this is so cool. How do you publish this for free? I love it. Anyway, you can see here that our latency, even though we've gone from cast latencies of 3 with SDR and DDR, 2.5, man, you could get cast 2 DDR back in the day, couldn't you?
Yeah.
That OCZ untested stuff that was literally UTT untested, but then they just warranted you to overvolt the snot out of it. What a weird company they were. Anyway,
They were, yes.
They did kind of blow up, if I'm remembering correctly, didn't they?
Oh, spectacularly. I
Yes.
actually know a fair bit about that.
Yeah.
15 nanoseconds of latency, and DDR5 at cast 40 compared to 2.5 is 16.67 nanoseconds of
good
latency.
table.
So it's actually a pretty cool table to see how, yes, that number has gone up a lot, but in terms of the real world actual time latency of access, it hasn't.
It's the second time today we've talked about Crucial. We talked about it at lunch.
I
where
know.
I referenced the, I don't know if they still have
configuration
it,
page,
like a
right?
configuration tool and compatibility tool for you, where you would put in your laptop or your motherboard, and it would tell you, here's the
Oh, cool.
6 modules that will actually be compatible. But,
Back in the day.
in SD and the first gen's DD, that was a more important.
Oh wait, I remember that.
Yeah.
Fun story.
Well, that's been a while.
I was the one who got tasked with taking all of the random ass Crucial modules that they have in that configurator and populating them on the NCIX site so that when people went through the Crucial memory configurator, NCIX would have a where to buy link so that we could
wow.
place freaking these random orders for these weird SKUs that distribution was going to take 12 weeks to get in stock while the customer yells at us so that they can get the validated DDR memory module for their ancient Dell Optiplex. So, yes,
Yep.
great tool. I personally have a bit of a grudge against it.
It
I
was
have-
an awesome tool though. I actually used it a lot
But
when I
I
was
have-
doing like tech work.
Yeah, for servers in particular.
Yeah, like it was actually genuinely really helpful. I just haven't
OEM
thought about it in a
systems
decade.
and stuff. Yeah.
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 Yep. Why are you guys here?
Well, I just really
love
wanted to say
Vancouver.
hi.
Yeah.
I mean, it just seems like it's been so long. And
And the jersey.
Arc.
This is just what I wore
7-7.
today.
Yeah, that
This is
jersey, I beat around the bush a little bit in the pre-show.
Uh-oh.
It's kind of cringe.
You think?
Yeah, it's,
I
it's-
actually disagree.
you disagree.
I disagree. I think it's cool.
I think it goes a little hard.
I think in terms of
If you had
other
if
gaming
you had a
jerseys-
Linus jersey, you would wear it and you'd be so stoked.
No, I wouldn't.
Yes, you would.
I would.
You would wear it to
not.
badminton 100%.
Well, the question is, would you ever wear that in anywhere other than a work function? And the answer to that is going to be no. right?
no, I would not. Yeah.
So for me,
I
shirts
wore
like
it when
that
I
I would
are
actually.
really great if you could wear it to a rave, as an example.
Oh,
You
okay.
know?
Well, if I was
Yeah.
going to a rave, then
Yeah.
yeah, it has the right color
Yeah, you
scheme.
you
and
could wear it,
brightness,
right?
or- yeah.
If
You
if
just
you were,
learned something about Tap. Are you a raver?
I don't rave.
that's actually why he's in
No,
Vancouver.
I don't. Well, whoever's listening, I don't rave.
No, but like if you're doing outside sports or whatever, like I don't know, I'd throw it on.
I would wear it if the Intel Arc branding was on the back. I
Okay.
find the bicep
On the
plus
back it
the
says
chest
light.
a little
It
much.
says "Let's play" on the
Yeah,
back. But
yeah.
you could, yeah. Okay.
Okay, all right, but you know
Special
what?
edition.
Yeah.
But the good news is that everything else we talked about today made a much better impression than that shirt.
I
So-
wonder if that's because you're not a soccer fan.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm not.
See,
because
that is
soccer
kind of a
It's a
fans-
soccer style jersey.
That is.
Yeah,
that
yes,
is.
yes.
That is.
Okay, hold on a second. Let's have a look at the chat. I think we should run a run a
no.
poll.
Ooh. Okay,
Ooh.
okay.
Is the polling system working right now, Luke?
Yep.
Okay, do you want to do it? Because I don't know how to use it. Okay,
Sure.
Luke's going to hit the float
that out
plane
of
chat
light,
with a
yeah.
poll. Ryan Shrout's Intel Arc jersey,
I mean, it's
yay
not
or
just
nay?
mine.
It's not only his, but he does
Yeah,
model
but,
it very
I mean,
well.
you sweat in it. Nobody else wants it.
It's yours now.
The good news is everything. While the people respond to the poll, the good news is that everything else you guys talked about today has been pretty positive. So, what did you bring up? As far as I know, this has not been shown outside of Intel yet.
Has not.
What
You are correct.
What do you want to say about it? What is it?
I would like to say, first off, thanks. And I got to say, thank you very much for having us here.
Oh yeah, our
Yeah,
pleasure.
and I got to tell you, I not only do I just love being out and around other people because it's been so long, but you've honestly been just a pleasure. I got to see the whole place, and it's quite impressive. And I'm just, wow. So there's that first.
Nobody ever says nice things to me on the WAN show because I'm always just
Yeah.
I don't know how to react to this.
just relax, okay? Now about this, I'm also excited because, as you know, we showed you some performance.
Yes.
Right? And this is the first card that I've seen from Intel that I go, you know what? It's all going to be okay. It's all going to work out. And I love the fact that we can sit here and we can play games with it, right? And it plays really well. We were playing Cyberpunk earlier.
Yeah, I was gonna say we weren't playing like Miner VGA, which is not a crypto thing, by the way. Do you know Miner VGA? Does anyone know
He's trying
Miner
to flex his
VGA?
knowledge because we
I
played
don't.
Minecraft last night, and he's like, "Well, back in my day,
Back in my day,
we played Miner VGA."
we had Miner
I don't know what
VGA.
Miner VGA is. How did I not know?
Okay, I'm gonna try and get
probably a
this
good
up.
reason.
I'm gonna try and get this up on playdosgames.com here. But anyway, the point is we're not talking lightweight games. We ran Cyberpunk, we ran F1 2021, we ran Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which was good.
Hey, these are all games that are. Did you use the thing?
Which thing?
Oh, I should have used the thing. I didn't use the
What thing?
We actually just built an automated benchmark tool for those games.
Oh, and you didn't use
Literally
the thing?
all the games that he just listed
are in there.
Well, we were only sort of allowed to. We were allowed to kind of look at performance. We weren't allowed to get analytical.
Oh,
about
that was like
performance.
frame times.
Yeah,
and everything.
because we're not at the point where we're really sampling this yet. I really just wanted to come
That's
up and
fair.
share.
Yeah, no, that's
this is
totally
like
fair.
a sneak peek. But very, very soon.
I don't know if this is going to bother anybody else in the production, but if stop slamming your hand on the table.
Stop.
It's coming
Okay,
through
sorry.
all the microphones.
Sorry. But very, very
Nobody else
soon.
wanted to say it.
He's
I have a lot of
excited.
production.
I am
No,
very
know,
excited.
I know.
I like the passion.
I'm
not
very
tempering
excited. I'm very excited. But this is actually it overclocks pretty good. It's got fantastic, media. But at the end of the day, what you really care about is does it game and does it game well? And I feel like we hit it. We nailed it. Now it's a little bit more complicated story than obviously that I would like to tell.
Yes,
But,
yeah, I'm sure you guys would have loved to fly up here, put your hands in your lap, twiddle your thumbs, and go
this.
enjoy, dude.
Just do your thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we started today. I think it was this morning. We published a video talking a little bit about performance and a little bit about like our plan to roll this out. It's something that people are eager to see. They've wanted to see it for a while.
I
right?
think 3 years and counting.
Yes.
But
And
a while.
yes.
and we get it. We understand it. And now
that
Tom
the
and I are
technical
like
term
pushing for.
We're doing it, man. We're doing it. And I'm pretty excited. So the key thing is before you know it, these are going to be available in the channel. And
Okay. We didn't talk about that.
we did not talk about it, but I'm just going to say before you know it, kid.
I mean, I guess there's retail. There's retail. There's a retail
looks
box.
sharp, yeah.
Wait, is it in here?
Yeah.
Oh, I assumed you would have taken it out. Well, the people want you to open it.
Yeah, sure.
I mean,
ahead.
should we give it to the guy with the jersey that,
No,
by the way,
yeah.
80% of our float plane viewers say cool or wearable.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
or something better than trash.
Cringe and unwearable was 21%. So 4 out of 5
21%
sweaty
of our
nerds.
audience
That is a
doesn't touch
solid
grass.
win.
Yeah,
That is
four-
a solid win.
4 out of 5 sweaty nerds are going to be into it.
Sure.
Hey,
Awesome.
that sounds good.
Oh yeah, here we go. Hold on a second. We're just
Actually, really
reframing
not a
for
bad
you
idea.
here. This is
Ooh.
the
I will say it looks really sharp.
there it is.
Thank
You haven't even
you.
seen it with RGB yet.
Yeah, so that has RGB. That's a limited edition. It will be available for purchase. We've got a cool program controls all the RGBs. That's actually a over-designed card for the chip that's in it. You were looking at our little monitor and it was at 61 degrees C while we were gaming. You're like, that's obviously broken.
69 actually.
69. Sorry. Guess what?
And then he-
Nice.
and then he said nice.
It was correct. It was correct.
The targeted temperature. Kid.
Yeah.
Wow, so you guys are hitting like 70 degrees under load. It was literally reporting 99% GPU usage, which, as far as I can tell, seemed to be working.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's with a dual
Super cool.
fan.
Love
Now,
It's a dual axial. Yeah.
They wouldn't talk pricing with
sharp.
us yet, but when you guys watch the video, which by the way is going to be
too.
amazing, because we got Shrout to shill for LTTstore.com and we got Tap to shill for Float.
I don't know how it happened. It's the most
when
awkward
oh,
recording.
nice.
When we were talking about this would be our last video because we were going to get fired.
Yeah.
It was part of the reasons why.
I want to
that
see the
was
video
coming
because
up,
I know for sure it's my most awkward recording that I've ever done.
No, no, you did
You
great.
sure?
Yeah. I gave them both some like hosting coaching when they were
was good.
trying really hard.
I learned a lot.
It was a great effort.
I'd been out of practice for 3.5 years.
know.
I don't know how to do
I haven't
this
seen
anymore.
people-
I don't.
Well, you
I
had
haven't
nothing
seen-
to talk
Yeah,
about.
exactly. Oh,
Oh,
heyo,
again.
damn, damn.
We have some questions from people. Do
Okay.
you want to talk a little bit more freestyle, or do you
Yeah.
want to start?
No, let's do
hearing from the
questions. Let's do
community?
questions.
Because one of the first questions is, hey, are you guys engaging with the open source community? How is your Linux support going to be for this card?
Well, I can tell you that our Linux support is going to be great. We already have an open driver for Linux, right? So it's we're not in the same position as some of the other companies that have a little bit of schizophrenic relationship. We are open source oriented, right?
Now, can I remind you
Yes.
guys his employment history? He formerly worked for a green company.
It doesn't matter. It's not
and
about
has-
that.
He doesn't have, but he doesn't have any insider knowledge. He was actually the receptionist. So
I was.
I don't want it to seem like he's throwing shade.
I'm
on
not
anyone.
throwing shade on anybody.
I
I'm
just
just saying
wanna-
that we are very open.
I want to get that out there. Thank you.
Thank you,
Yes,
Linus.
yes.
We're very open. And so our Linux community, I think most of them realize that we do open standards. Like if you think open standards, you should start thinking, where did these come from? Well, a lot of them came from Intel.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, Intel wasn't going to go and embrace a closed standard like G-Sync, for example.
Oh,
Great technology. Personally a fan, but Intel, they're going to wait for adaptive sync, obviously, right?
yes. Well, you know my history about that, so I'm very excited to say that we do support adaptive sync, and we also have a couple other really cool sync modes like smooth sync, and another thing that we're calling, what's the last one called? Smooth sync, fast sync. So all of
Okay,
them.
what's the difference?
I don't
Is
think that's
fast
right.
Oh, it's
sync-
not fast sync.
fast
It's
sync.
smooth sync.
Is fast sync kind of, or whatever it is?
Yeah.
The last one, is it like a reflex competitor? Like a
No. It's actually
low
really cool.
latency
It's like
mode,
when you have tearing, like when you're running really fast, you're going
Yeah.
to tear. This mode actually blends the two frames. So think of it, it works with all monitors, but what we're doing is we're saying we can't get rid of tearing, but we can actually make that transition less jarring.
Now,
That's
do
pretty
I
sweet
get
for certain games that are just
so I
gonna
get
tear
It
the,
works
no
all the
matter what.
time. Yeah,
so I
it
get
works
the
all the time.
latency advantage of not having any kind of sync.
Yes.
But I'm assuming that would rely on the machine learning hardware.
No. It's just a traditional blend. So think of it, it's in our display logic. So as we're scanning out lines, we kind of know when a new frame shows up.
Smooth sync. By
Smooth
the way,
sync,
is the
thank
name
you.
I
Thank
can
you,
remember.
Ryan.
Yeah.
Smooth sync.
Okay.
So that's features available. It works with all games because it's in our display hardware.
Right.
And it's vendor neutral, and it's going to work on all ARC. It's pretty cool.
That is actually super cool.
We have a
Okay.
video for you. Maybe we could give it. You could cut it in if you want. It's pretty cool.
Now, I would like to hear from you guys if you have any other questions. This is going to be the one and only opportunity to chat with these guys live about this here.
Well, it may not be the
Although
only.
I know that you
This
guys
could be
are
my
on-
last employment day here, right? we
That's
don't
true.
know how that's
You
going to
know
go.
what? Actually,
Yeah.
I take it back.
Yeah, it
this
could
is
very
be the
well
last.
be.
This is it.
Could very well be. Okay. I mean, a crane. I don't think they're going to be able to answer that
Yeah,
question.
I mean, like, hey, what day is it going to be available?
Yeah.
And
Okay.
how much is it going to
We're
cost?
not going to answer
We're-
price. We're not going to answer specifics on performance, and we're not going to talk specifics on a date.
Akrain wants to know if there will be a 900 trim or if 700 is the highest. Can you address that?
I can
it's
say,
okay
yeah.
if you can't.
Right now we have a 3 family, a 5 family, and a 7 family, and that's where our plan ends right now. Now, whether someday we change that, maybe we always think into things, and I know Intel added a 9
Yeah,
to the
for the
CPUs.
CPU side. Yeah.
But right now, no plan. We have enough names. We got products to fill it, and that's plenty.
Well, the way I think of it, Intel restored the 9 because we all knew there was supposed to be a Core i9 many years before they finally gave us the only like marginally upgraded Core i9. Wasn't Core i9 supposed to be the branding for the original HEDT 1366? I can't
Was it not?
remember.
Was it 7?
It was 7.
It was 7.
Core i7 was
7
Yeah,
with an
so it
X.
was really confusing because you had Core
Yeah.
i7s on the consumer platform, and then you had Core i7s on the HEDT platform, and it stayed like that for
Very confusing.
years.
Very confusing.
Will we have a 9 maybe? We'll see as the products go. But I
Depends
think
if you can make something
I think-
9-worthy.
No,
well,
it's more like,
I think
oh,
it
you
comes
do.
down to
Ouch.
like
God,
we've
again.
got. I think the naming structure you've come up with is actually super useful because it doesn't elicit direct
I actually
comparisons
really like
to the
it.
Yeah.
competition.
Yeah.
Right. The A series means Alchemist. next generation will be B, it'll be Battle Mage, and then you've got the
Okay.
357, and then you can use any of the numbers after that for your performance
Can I
differentiation.
please respectfully request something? Of
course.
Do you guys have influence within the ARC business unit?
Oh, yes.
No, not so much?
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
we definitely do.
Yes, but does he
Yeah.
though?
He definitely does.
He does.
He and
Okay.
I are buddies. We're
Okay.
like connected.
Okay. Until one of you is fired.
Well, if I
Or
get
both.
fired, then
Okay.
then he is going to
Okay.
be the man.
Can you guys stick to your guns? Keep the naming scheme sensible.
Yes.
Make it so
'Cause
that
it's really
as,
good right now.
as
Yeah.
media and as a consumer, because you guys actually did do a great job of that.
Yeah.
Intel,
Mhm.
even like Intel does not always do a great job. Nvidia and AMD many times have seemingly intentionally obfuscated the meaning of their model numbers. We've seen rebrands. We've seen reuse of the same numbers, which from a consumer standpoint is a nightmare, because if you're going and you're troubleshooting something and you search for, I'm trying to think of, you search for AMD 6800.
I was thinking
They
about
have
Oh,
that.
CPUs,
yes, yes.
they have GPUs. Nvidia has actually reused. What was it that they? There's definitely stuff they've reused. There's numbers that have been used by both AMD and Nvidia. So if you search for
480.
like this
Oh,
game,
yes, 480.
yeah,
280, 280, 480.
Yes, 280, 480. These are both great examples.
9800.
So
9800.
what I would respectfully request is that you guys stick to your guns. 3, 5, 7 is your tiers. The letter is your family. I don't care if this particular letter, if J isn't that cool. Okay? If
Jelly beans.
I like Jay.
if Arc just 770 looks
like
like
Jay.
looks like some kind of swear word in some kind of Cyrillic script in Sanskrit or something, like, please, for consumers, stick to your guns.
But
will.
it's not just for consumers, right? It's like also for my sanity as well.
Yes.
Right.
I would
So,
like to mess with his sanity, but we won't. Okay, we will
Okay.
not.
I have a question that I'm gonna merge, kind of a question for myself and a question from the audience. They are asking about you mentioned earlier, this is exclusive. This
It's limited edition.
limited edition.
Yes.
Okay, so a certain other company that may not be named sells certain limited edition stuff, maybe like just through Best Buy or whatever else. Is this limited edition directly from you guys,
gotta be
or
a channel scheme.
how is?
I would expect that to show up in multiple channels in the US and worldwide.
Intel's distribution is, I could even answer that question.
Yes.
The way
Well-
Intel's distribution works is it'll go through Disti, and then
There's multiple people.
whether there's an exclusive arrangement or not, Disti's going to send a bunch of them out the back door to mom and pop shops anyway.
It's
so.
all going to work out.
Yeah. Even if Intel wanted this to be Best Buy exclusive, I pretty much promise you it wouldn't be.
Yeah, that's not our intent.
I think people really like the look of that, because I'm getting a lot of questions that are basically like, "Can I get this?"
Yes.
Can you grab it? Can you pick it up again for a second, Shroud? Is that still framed for his hands? No, it's okay. It doesn't matter. I'll hold it and explain it. So the way they did the RGB on this is actually super classy. The top bar. Oh, are you gonna fire it over to me? Oh, cool. How nice is that? Whoops, wrong one. Whoops, wrong one. Whoops.
You'll get it.
Hey, now we're talking. Now
Third
we're talking.
time's a charm. The way they did it is actually super classy, and I'm not just shilling. I'm not being paid to tell you this. Not today, anyway. I expect payment tomorrow. There's a nicely diffused RGB light bar along the top. The Intel Arc logo right here is also lit, and then it's really subtle the way they've done it with the fans. From the front, you actually wouldn't know. So if you've got a case that has a vertical GPU mount, this thing is going to look absolutely f***ing sick.
It will.
Because the RGB is diffused and it's recessed. So it's around the outside of the fan, and they could have gone tacky. They could have absolutely
There's one in
done
the back,
like
too.
A translucent fan blade or something along those lines. They decided not to. They kept it classy, and I think it looks absolutely awesome.
Thank you for that.
But I have a question from Matt K35. There have been reports of huge GPU power usage from NVIDIA in the 4000 models, and AMD confirmed, well, didn't confirm, but speculated that I think they said by 2025 we could see power consumption as high as like 600 watts or something like that. They didn't say anything about the next gen, but they said they do foresee much higher GPU power consumption in the future. So Matt K35 asks, will Intel be reaching for such high power consumption in this range or future models, or how do you guys view the importance of efficiency in the PCIe slot form factor?
Well, obviously efficiency is huge for us. We're not going to be anywhere near those power ranges in the Alchemist family. I don't know if we've given out a number for this guy.
I don't think we have.
We
yet.
have not, but I'd love to tell you, it's not going to, it's not going to burn out any electrical cities, and no, you don't have to like get a mortgage to run the power. It's very tame, and I don't think we're going to be participating in that, above 500 watt GPU anytime soon. Now that's in the consumer space. Obviously, in workstations and in data centers, power limits, power budgets are much different, and so I would just not include those in the conversation.
Yeah. Fun fact, we actually had a bit of a miscommunication with one of our data center partners for Floatplane, where we specifically asked for 2 critical pieces of infrastructure to be located
2,
in different racks. Sorry?
There's more than 2.
Okay, sure. Multiple critical pieces of infrastructure to be located in separate racks. And the reason for that was that occasionally you can have a rack level outage.
Yeah.
And it was imperative that we not have all of those things go out at the same time for the health of the service. Now, that sort of thing is rare, but it does happen. So we got our request and they said, yeah, sure, yeah, no, okay. Hours later, our poor infrastructure guys, I know AJ was working on it. Did Jonathan touch this as well?
It was hours later. The timelines are weird, but basically, yeah.
I mean hours of work. Like figuring out why something was like weird.
Yeah, so they're all in the same rack. We figure out they're all in the same rack. We say, why are they all in the same rack? They go, oops, we'll move them. They don't move them. We figure out that we have to order new ones because
they're
like
bunch of work
water-cooled
to figure
into
out
the
they were
rack.
in the same rack.
Jesus.
Because
Like,
it's
oh,
not
my goodness.
immediately obvious.
Yeah.
Like it's,
Yeah, when you're not on site.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
when
not
you're
physically there.
Yeah, if you're there, you can look at it and go, oh, yeah, well, that's the LAN cable that's plugged into that or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But when you're not on site, it's not immediately obvious from their identifiers that they are actually physically within the same rack. So then they follow up. They say they'll move it. Okay, we find out that they're in the same rack again. And then they follow up again. And what did they say?
Thing. Oh, we just have to like reorder them.
We have
Because
to completely...
they can't move them because they're water cooled into the rack.
Oh,
so they're like they're gonna do a refund and they're gonna take care of us and stuff and it's gonna be fine. We're not going with anyone else. We've been working with them for a long time. So whatever. But like it's just.
But it shows you that in data centers, it wasn't even special. We didn't order a water cooled tier.
Yeah.
That's just
That was
what
their
they're
cooling
doing.
You get
method.
water cooled.
Yeah, they're just that's what they're doing in that particular DC. They're water cooling the entire rack, and they can't just,
or at least for that rack.
they
or
can't
whatever.
just slide a rack unit out of it and go put it somewhere else. It's actually like plumbed into the rack. So yeah, in the data center, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see hundreds of watt. I mean, man, some of the CPUs Intel is doing for the data center are wild.
Yeah. Well, the whole changing of the data center power centers and the cooling, whole building cooling. Have you been there to see these things? They're incredible. Like
They're
with,
really
with
cool.
the giant fans at the end, and they kind of blow
wish-
passively through the whole thing.
I wish we could get an actual like tour of a really high-end data
Yeah.
center. But
We saw
every
the
single
SFP
data center is just like,
supercomputer.
yeah,
I
but
don't
that's
know,
one
does-
suit. I'm talking like a full.
You should. It's amazing.
They're
We
hard to
haven't-
get into.
Is
Yeah.
that
We have one
engineering data center? And
yeah.
it's an SC.
Yeah.
One of the old SC buildings that used to be a fab that we've converted into a data center.
We might be
It
able to get you
have
in there.
some of
We
that
might be
stuff.
able to
Okay, another
would be
option
pretty
is
sweet.
Luke. I don't want to fly to France,
I do.
but
I miss travel. I used to meet you guys
Yes,
all the time.
yes, I
yeah.
know.
yeah, I might as well just talk about this. So Shadow Tech reached out.
yeah.
And they might be able to get us into a major data center, the one that we use
Oh.
in France, as part of
What is this?
as
What is
part of
this?
something. So Shadow uses I forget what it's called. GeForce Now, GeForce. What's the local streaming one? Help me. out.
The local streaming one.
Yeah.
So there's GeForce Now, which is the cloud
Yeah,
streaming.
not the cloud one.
And I don't know what they call the local streaming one. It's kind of always been a little bit of a less awesome thing.
It's
so.
kind of a hybrid between them because what they're essentially doing is they're using the local streaming one, but they're doing it over the internet.
Interesting.
So it's not cloud. It's
oh,
not
I see what you're
run
saying.
by NVIDIA.
Yeah. So it's like peer to peer.
Exactly.
I see. I
So
see.
you connect over some kind of VPN
Yeah.
that they've figured out, like a nice low latency VPN, and then you can game on your dedicated system
Yeah.
with your dedicated GPU. That was their model. They ran into some bankruptcy trouble recently, some investor something. The crypto mining shortages
Ooh.
apparently affected them a lot. I don't know. I'm sure that if we end up collaborating, we'll get all the details and we'll get that for you guys. But yeah, I mean, I am not gonna fly to France, but maybe we do. Maybe Luke, does a Euro tour.
That'd
or
be sweet.
We might end up not sending you. We might send someone else. I'm
No,
sorry, I'm not
do it.
promising anything, but that would be super cool.
That hurts.
Seems like a bait and switch that
didn't
just
that hurt?
occurred.
Because
Hey, you
I
wanna
felt like,
go?
I
Wanna
felt
go?
like that was
Okay,
go. You want to go?
Do
You want to go?
want to go?
Yes.
Because you don't host LTT videos anymore, so I don't know.
I've always loved the
Okay.
traveling. So I've
All
always
right,
loved
fine.
shows. You
No,
know that.
I'm not. I won't.
Yeah.
I won't. Then this is
Please
it.
let Luke
That's
go.
my commitment.
Yeah, thank
Please
you.
let Luke go.
If we do the collab, then Luke will go.
Put
Nice.
a poll in the chat.
Let's
Let's
see.
see.
I want to get. I'd love to go with Luke, but I don't know
Yeah.
if I can. I mean, that would be fun.
Let's do it.
You would be fun.
That'd be cool.
Game stream. Is
Game
that-
stream, yes.
Game stream. That's
yes.
the one.
Now,
Yeah.
do you know NVIDIA had also a co-play mode? Did you ever see that?
Wait, what?
Wait,
Didn't know that.
What's co-play?
wait a second. Maybe I don't know nothing about no co-play. I thought that was a thing.
I think it was.
It was a thing. See if you can find co-play.
Oh, no, everybody's Googling now.
Yeah.
Video co-play.
Is it a thing?
I see cosplay.
No,
It
no.
Auto-corrected
So
to
this is
cosplay.
cosplay.
Co-play.
Yeah, don't
it's not a
look those
thing.
ones
Okay,
up.
well, I
Don't look those up.
apologize.
If anybody dresses like a graphics card.
I don't know nothing about no co-play.
What he meant to say was cosplay.
I believe
meant
it
to
does
say
exist.
There are people that have
Oh, you believe it does
cosplayed
exist?
Yes,
as NVIDIA
GeForce
graphics cards.
Experience Share.
Yes.
It looks like it does.
Ah, there you go. Thank you. Thank you, God. I was starting to have a little detail, little flashbacks here.
With
Like, oof.
NVIDIA Share, no, this isn't it. Okay, broadcast your gameplay with GeForce Experience Share. Press
Yeah.
Alt Z to bring up the share overlay. What
Yes.
is that?
So it's pretty cool, actually. And you can actually, assuming this is what I remember it to be, you can actually share your PC screen to a remote device, and they can do I/O back to your game. So it's effectively allows cooperative play and remote play on your PC.
Interesting.
There was another service I saw that did something like that, where it was like it's kind of like in you can like you can't get past this part of a game.
You can hire a Sherpa. You can
Yeah,
hire an expert to
essentially.
come
No
in.
way.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
yes.
was an actual.
No, it's still an actual thing.
Oh, of course it is. Of course it
Yes.
is.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, go check it out. It's actually pretty cool. It never really took off because it's just kind of hard for people to get their heads around.
Yeah,
But
I
it's a-
can
it's
see
a good
that.
thing. It's
And
cool.
there's competing ways to do that. Like you can set it up through Steam.
Yeah.
Where you can play your Steam games remotely using the same encoder. Now, I guess this is a perfect opportunity for you guys to talk then about video encoding. One of the things that enables these kinds of remote play experiences are the high-end hardware encoding engines that are built into modern GPUs. Because if we had to use software encode and decode for that matter on the host and the client device, you'd be looking at latency that, even ignoring the internet, would be too high to have a good gaming experience, and the image quality would be terrible. It would be compressed to high hell. So one of the things that we already know that Intel Arc is really good at, because we checked it out on a laptop recently, is encode and decode. Now, what I want to know, because I am a bit of an enthusiast, whether we're talking, Twitch chat's talking about Parsec, which is another really cool software for low latency remote gaming.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
is not Steam specific and is not locked into any like GeForce driver or anything like that. You can use it with AMD, you can use it with Intel.
I'm
So-
going to check that out. I've not heard it.
So as an enthusiast for this kind of technology, this kind of remote play technology, I believe we were actually the first ones to ever do, did we get surround working when when Valve first launched their remote
I
streaming
remember
nonsense?
working on this, but I honestly don't.
we got
yeah.
either like 4K or surround working or something, and it was so janky and it was so ridiculous that I was actually contacted by the developer from Valve who was working on the technology internally, going, "Wow, I can't believe you tried that. I have one tiny cubicle. I don't even have enough monitors that are good enough to like try this. You're pushing the technology to the limits, man. Keep going." Anyway, I love this stuff. So one of the things that I wanted to know was, can I expect an improvement in this kind of technology with the encode and decode engine that you guys have built into Arc?
100%. Obviously, we've already talked that we support native AV1 encode for the first time.
Yeah, so what's the advantage of AV1? Talk to me like I'm 5.
Okay, AV1
Because
is...
I still make mistakes about RAM bandwidth and latency, so I'm clearly
and you
an
got
idiot.
put in your place.
I did.
Yeah.
It's true.
AV1 is a next generation codec standard. So it basically reduces the bandwidth required for a high quality upload. And so if you encode to AV1, you can kind of either push more bits of quality up to the cloud so you can have a higher quality stream, or you can reduce the bandwidth and kind of maybe reduce some of the jitter, reduce some of the stutter, and it's smaller file sizes if you're recording locally. So AV1 is sort of like the future of what is encoding going to look like, and it's supported natively in hardware on all of our GPUs.
Now, when you say supported natively in hardware, I think that's something that a lot of people don't understand. Is just because you have hardware support for encoding in a particular manner, that doesn't mean that your quality is as good as if you were to do it through software. So, and it also doesn't necessarily mean that it would be fast enough for a real-time application like game streaming.
Yeah.
Is it that good?
It is great.
Okay.
It is great, and you're going to get to test it, right? You're going to basically
So there's no point lying.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great. It's actually, you guys remember QuickSync, right? QuickSync has been awesome for forever, and this is using a lot of the similar media technology.
But QuickSync hasn't seen the kind of support that we've seen for other encoders. Why do you guys suck at propagating QuickSync? Like, I remember we'd get these benchmarks in these like weird Chinese like DVD authoring suites, and we'd be like, QuickSync's amazing. And then it takes Apple to go and popularize the concept of hardware encoding, accelerating, mainstream applications like Final Cut, and all of a sudden everyone goes, "Wow, this is a great idea. Why did Intel suck so much at communicating the importance of QuickSync?"
It's hard to put a name on it. I blame Ryan.
Well, he wasn't even there
I blame Ryan. Why? That doesn't mean I can't blame Ryan.
That's fair.
I mean, come on.
It's sure. I think what it comes down to is like it's all about software enabling, developer relations, all of that. And Intel has like an unparalleled infrastructure for that. The problem I think is that there were some complexities of things. QuickSync wasn't always turned on by default when you made a desktop system, right? Your integrated graphics gets turned off, and developers don't. They're like, well, why am I working on this project if that's not the case, right? And I remember we had very specific discussions as we were launching 10th or 11th gen about QuickSync is super important. We need to tell motherboard vendors, you need to leave. The default cannot be off anymore. The default needs to be that integrated graphics stays on, because that's what enables the media engines to be accessible.
And there's no good reason to have it off.
Not anymore.
It doesn't take any power, really.
Years and years ago, you might make the case that it was, compatibility, multiple drivers. Yeah. But like when Windows handles multiple vendor drivers all the time. So if you had an NVIDIA or Radeon card, you could still have
it all works, and it's all well integrated.
Or an ARC card.
Now, but
someday. Someday soon.
But now when you have an ARC card, right, we can take advantage of both engines, right? So I know Raja has talked about it a little bit. We haven't talked about it recently, but we have I think it's called Stream Assist, which is an idea that if you have an ARC card in your system and you have a CPU with integrated graphics, you can actually use the integrated graphics QuickSync encode engine to handle all the encode operations and
offload
keep the
your
GPU,
GPU,
off
right?
the GPU.
That's a big problem, actually, particularly when you're running very demanding games. Like, you've probably run into this. You stream. So yeah, NVENC is amazing. It's outstanding. It's been the industry leader for basically since it was implemented.
Yeah.
But when you're playing a heavy game and you're trying to encode, you can sometimes run into issues where either the encoder will get overloaded or you will drop significant frames.
And a lot of games these days, we've moved away from RTSs for the most part. So a lot of games these days are GPU bound, not CPU bound. So you run into that a lot.
That's actually a pretty cool idea, and might be the first genuine example of someone trying to marry integrated and discrete graphics.
We
in spite of
are all
AMD
over that.
trying over and over and over again.
So there's a whole collection of technologies that we have called Deep Link.
Yes.
And I think we've described Deep Link a little bit, but it's the concept of how can we use all the power of that integrated CPU, which has graphics, and now connect ARC graphics to it. What are the leverages there? And there's lots of them.
Right.
And it's going to become very, very common that you'll see features on ARC that are only activated when it's coupled with an Intel CPU. It's going to be very, very
Stream
cool.
Assist is one of those, and then like Hyper Encode
uses
the encode engines on the integrated and the encode engines on the discrete ARC graphics, and it will I think
encode
it's
twice
60
yeah,
60% faster,
1.6x faster,
something like that.
Got
Right.
it. Now tell me something. Is there a technical limitation that would prevent this QuickSync assist from working with an NVIDIA or an AMD card? Because in my humble opinion, it would be a good guy move, and it would be extremely positive press for Intel
Very open standard style.
to get some mind share and some awareness within the streaming community, which, by the way, is really influential. I mean, a great example of this is the recently defunct Artesian builds, which I had never even heard of. I had no idea they existed until they screwed over a small streamer with a prize, went absolutely supernova. Steve from Gamers Nexus has actually talked
I saw it.
a lot about Artesian builds, and we all discovered that they were actually running an enormous operation. What, they have like 40 employees, 60
was a
employees or
lot.
something
I
like
didn't know
that?
that.
Apparently, I don't know, the last video is like a $20 million business.
Yeah, like they were running
Yeah.
this
Big,
enormous
yeah.
operation. Their only way they marketed, as far as I could tell, was streaming, building machines, and then sponsoring as many tiny streamers as they could with these gaming rigs, and they turned it into this enormous freaking business. So
Wow.
if I can put pressure on you guys in a very public forum, we've got almost 20,000 people watching right now, by the way. Say
Wow.
hi.
Hi, 20,000 people.
Thank you guys very much for tuning in. I would like to see Intel try to take a very open approach to their technology, because if I was a streamer and all I ever knew was GeForce, or all I ever knew was Radeon, which is less common in the streaming space because of NVENC, if all of a sudden you guys were to get your foot in the door and go, hey, you probably already have an Intel CPU. We have this really great feature that you're going to like that is going to save you from those encoding overload errors. It's going to save you from any kind of FPS drop when you're running a particularly demanding game. All of a sudden, they're sitting there going, okay, I'm using this Intel branded technology. It's helping me with my game streaming. And I think in terms of mindshare, that could be extremely helpful.
I think that's a fair point. Let us go look at that. And I'm not going to say it already, but I think it may work. But I think we need to go look at it, because what's I think happening is most of those GPUs are turned off in the BIOS. But we can take it and go look. I'll give you an update.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where I'm thinking about this not from an Intel needs to market better standpoint necessarily. That's my pitch to you guys.
Yeah.
But from a, hey, I want technology to work better standpoint.
It's a very fair request.
It is.
And you know what? Honestly, there's nothing that offends me more than being treated like I'm not a good enough customer. When I bought my AirPods Pro, Apple basically said, well, f you. You don't need a battery meter.
You have an Android
I
phone.
saw you reaching for it.
You don't need to be able to update your firmware, because you didn't buy enough Apple products. You can only update your firmware with this thing with an iPhone.
Is that right?
That is correct. You cannot update the firmware by plugging in a lightning port and plugging it into a PC
or anything.
through iTunes or whatever. They did not create a way to do that. And they did that because I am not worthy enough. I didn't buy enough Apple products, and I don't like it. I think it's arrogant, and I think it's extremely anti-consumer.
To move back from Apple,
I think you're worthy.
I want you to know
think
that
you're
I
worthy.
think you're worthy too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
your whole family loves you, Linus.
Yeah.
I'm good enough, and I'm smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like me. There's an old reference.
3-pin power connector, 3-pin connector next to the power connectors.
Yes.
Oh, are you able to talk about that?
Yeah, it's fine. This 3-pin connector on the card is the
Can you show it to the crowd?
cable. Maybe.
They're not really
it's
good.
okay.
about it.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's
Dan
a
went
small
home.
3-pin connect. We can't see.
It's too
fine.
dark.
Don't
Yeah.
worry about it.
That is the USB
Ah.
connection to
got
control the RGBs.
Yeah.
So
that's
it will come with it will come with this cable, right? That connects there.
Now, I noticed
Feed it
that's a
in,
super weird
and it's a
USB
USB
cable.
header.
Yes, it goes to a header on a motherboard.
It doesn't have all 4 pins in it.
You don't need 4.
Really?
Yeah, because the card has already got
Oh, it's already got power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody do that, though. Even on a powered device, that is a super weird
It is.
implementation.
We're weird. We're weird dudes, man. We're weird dudes. We do weird things. Get used to it. I'm smart enough. And people like me, damn it.
All
It
right,
was
Mr.
close.
Smalley.
the quote was close.
Close.
The next
Just like
question,
you.
and this one
Handicap.
comes with I think probably a few daggers from the person who asked it. But
Ooh.
are there any cutoffs or limitations or anything like that that are put in place somewhat artificially in order to separate and not compete from enterprise SKUs?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I want to know that, because
What
that's
enterprise
something that
SKUs?
has offended me a lot on the NVIDIA side. The way that I have wanted to
Or
be
just
able to
fancier SKUs in
virtualize
general.
my GPU cores basically since I learned virtualization was a thing and found out that it is the coolest technology that no consumer realizes that they use
It's
every
turned off on
day.
GeForce, right?
It's turned off on GeForce.
You guys can do that on here. He's going to make a bunch of videos about it.
Yeah, I sure will.
I guarantee.
Okay.
I sure will.
The GPU, I know the GPU supports the virtualization as part of the product that I think we still talk about it as Arctic Sound, right? Which is the data center version of this. It does virtualization. I don't know if it is enabled in the client version.
Yeah, we're a little bit ignorant on that, but I hear you. I want you
Okay.
to know I hear you.
Because it's one of those things where the reality of it is, I think this is one of those cases where I can meet you halfway. You know, when Titan was first introduced, I think that was actually a pretty reasonable olive branch and turned into such a successful product line that NVIDIA completely forgot what the purpose for it ever was, which was the less cut down FP64 performance, right? They completely forgot what the point of the product ever was and just turned it into a Halo gaming SKU. But I accepted that olive branch of, hey, it's not quite a Quadro, it's not quite a GeForce, it's something else, it's a Titan. If you guys were to go back to the product team and say, hey, what if we compromise? What if it's not quite a data center SKU because we don't necessarily want data centers just buying up all of our retail inventory, because that works great when the crypto miners do it. So I'm sure it'll work awesome when the data center guys do it. We do need to retain some kind of differentiation, because there is additional, that's the thing you guys got to understand. There is additional validation and additional software and hardware engineering that goes into creating features that consumers frankly don't care about and will never use. And somebody has to pay for it. And when those somebodies are not tens or hundreds of millions of gamers, but rather dozens or hundreds of enterprise companies, well, the cost has to go up a lot.
Yes.
That's just the way it works. That's business. Otherwise, we wouldn't have these features existing at all.
Yeah.
So I get it, but I'd love to see a compromise SKU.
Well, let me. I just want to say, I think that's a fair ask. But right now, we have just so much going on getting into the market. And I feel like
I can be patient.
Yeah, just give us a little time. We have got a tremendous consumer gaming card, and we've got actually data center parts that we're launching as well. And on our next generation, I would say there's going to be time to think about how do we kind of segment this a little bit better.
EDD 666999 says, yeah, NVIDIA and 10-bit color was a great example of this kind of artificial differentiation for too long. And when they finally launched it, consumers were super happy. And guess what? Quadros still sell. Yeah. Even though they don't call them Quadros anymore.
Wait a second, they don't call them Quadro anymore?
No.
What do they call them?
You didn't know that? It's just A6000. It's just called NVIDIA
Quadro
A6000.
got killed?
It is the stupidest thing ever. See, this is what I'm talking about.
How did I miss
The naming problem.
How did I miss this?
Because everyone still calls it Quadro.
And they're not Tesla anymore either.
Because nobody understands the branding. Why would you take a solid, well-understood brand and just crap on it so that nobody understands what your product is? It's asinine. I can't fathom it.
So we've had a lot of people in chat say that they would buy it if it supported virtualization. A non-zero amount of those people being our own staff. So I threw up a poll. There's a few. So I threw up a poll just asking if people would buy it if it had the support, and 84% said yes.
And this is the kind of thing that's super important to advocate for internally, because those 84% of people literally is 144 people. That's it. It's nothing.
Right.
It's a drop in the bucket for a company like Intel. Honestly, it's a drop in the bucket for a company like us. If 144 of our subscribers were like, we're not going to watch your videos anymore, we'd be very sad.
Yeah.
And business would continue as usual the very next day.
Unaffected.
Except that these are micro-influencers. These are the people who recommend to their friends, who recommend to their friends. These are the point of contact for so many families or friend networks, where they learn about, who's the good guys in the industry, who is doing things that matter.
I don't think you'll get any argument from us on the value of those individuals and their opinions and point of view. And internally, we have all kinds of designations. Like hardware elders is a term that gets used. People who are
Oh, really?
hardware
Hardware
elders is
elder.
a term which is like
I like that.
I like it.
Like a respected,
the wise old Linus
venerated.
on the mountain, right?
Yeah.
That like understands everything
Except RAM, yeah.
except latency. So we see the value of that group. I think what Tom's saying is we can go ask the questions and see. But I think you want us to focus on, hey, get this out
Yes.
as the best
Do a
gaming
good
product
job
you
on
could
that,
possibly
please.
do
Yeah.
first.
Yeah. But I think it's
Let's
good to
talk
know
again
now,
in
right?
the B series.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, we've got to
sure.
define things now.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, you have to be thinking about this stuff because the last thing you want is to draw a line in the sand today that's like,
We're never gonna do it.
"Und never," and then end up having to deal with the backlash of drawing the line in the first place.
Sure.
And then have to dispel a bunch of then myths about how your product doesn't do it when you
Yes.
ultimately do reverse course. And that's a lot of work.
Yes.
How many media tours have you had to do where you have to explain oh, well, no, we don't actually have that banding anymore. We've got proper 10-bit support on GeForce.
It's a little awkward.
Yeah, it was a ton of work. All right. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to go over for us while you're talking to the peeps out there?
I don't think so. I think my view on this is really the next, we'll say, couple of months is going to be super interesting. We're gonna talk directly to the gaming community. We're going to talk directly to groups like you guys, and we want to start to tell the story of what this is. Talk about the performance. Talk about the intricacies. Be very honest and truthful and transparent about where we stand with certain game titles or certain functions, and the discussions we had today in a follow up of like your HP notebook review.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not a great outcome of that review, but I'd say the outcome for us is that people pay attention.
Oh my God, yes. That was a great review for us, actually. It was a
it woke some things up.
Sorry, it was a review for that system, but in terms of getting us to pay attention, I think that was a big step forward.
And to be clear, the two people in this room with me are not the people that weren't paying attention, but big companies sometimes have communication challenges. And honestly, we're at the scale now where we sometimes run into these things. Yeah, we had an incident last week, I think it was, where something got put into a video that was offensive to a particular group of people. And all of a sudden, like I didn't review the video. I don't approve every joke we tell,
right?
Or every like random text insertion in our content. And and sometimes it takes, whether it's a member of the public or whether it's a member of the press, to come in and raise those flags so that the right people are paying attention to
100%.
them. And so, I mean, I've always said that we give Intel a lot of heat. We give them a lot of flack, whether it's the famous walking in the rain video that
yes.
I know ruffled some feathers.
It's all good. It's all good.
Or whether it's the follow-up where I literally pretended to be being held hostage by Intel with a literal gun to my head.
It's all
which
good.
I know ruffled some feathers for sure. We've definitely given Intel a lot of flack, but one of the things that Intel has over the 10 years now that we've been working with them as an independent media company, the one thing Intel has done well is they've taken their lumps, taken their wins, and worked with us regardless. They've understood that whether they like it or not, that's our role.
Tell the truth.
We have to, because otherwise, when you guys release a great product and we say it's great, no one's going to believe me.
Yeah, I totally get it.
And every time that we do that with another company and they don't handle it well, we get to point at Intel and be like, look, they do it well. Why don't you act more like them?
I've actually done it a lot of times.
Really?
It's literally happened multiple times.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's like, they've got some stuff to learn about growing up. Like they've got a lot of growing up to do. If they can't handle criticism, then basically what that means to me is they don't really want to make their products better.
Right.
Because there's a lot of companies where, whether it's just the PR reps or whether it's actually a culture that goes all the way to the top, where they actually do value a negative review.
I do.
A
Just so you
critical
know.
review.
There's no question.
Oh, well, I know you do.
And we do. We do.
But sometimes, it's hard to sell that as beneficial internally, and I know that. I mean,
sure.
I had a particularly big blow up with your previous company over a critical review that wasn't even on my channel.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, with the whole hardware unboxed situation. And, that was an example of whether it was an individual or whether it was a group of individuals, whether it came from leadership. I'm not going to speculate, and you're not going to say anything.
I'm definitely not going to say
Yeah,
anything.
that would be for the best. There was a complete misunderstanding of what the value of media is and why they engage with us. There was this calculus that was being done for the cost, the actual bill of materials cost of a review sample versus the marketing benefit of the finished review. And I was like, this is not how this works at all.
I have a question about the launch for both of you guys.
Sure.
This launch was
Keeping us on topic. I
quite-
like
He
that.
is. He brings
trying
us
to
right back.
drive
right?
it back in. This launch was quite abnormal. China launching with your lower SKU, stuff like that. Can you guys talk about the thought process there
Sure.
or anything?
Well, Linus, you found out today that we have some sensitivities in the design, especially things around rebar, right?
Resizable bar.
Resizable bar.
Yeah,
And so,
not like concrete reinforcement.
yeah. And so,
The framing for the
maybe
car.
both.
yeah. So some of our thinking was, let's try to restrict the platform set that we're going after. And so that was where the idea came with, well, why don't we do system integrators first? And effectively, we can control the motherboard that these guys get plugged into. We make sure everything's perfect. But I got to tell you, we've learned a lot. I don't think we would do this again. That particular cycle, I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't know. And what we've also learned is that things are not going to stay small. Things are going to go big.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think all of this learning has said, let's just kind of move forward, right? And we're gonna say we're gonna get samples of the A380 into the hands of press here in the United States and Europe that want it, and we're just gonna be open and transparent.
Did you just say here in the United States?
I'm sorry, here in Canada. Apologize. Oh, Canada.
Okay, all right. I
There you
forgive
go,
you.
there you go.
We're like 20 minutes from the border. I don't know if we get to be
no,
off.
you're definitely Canada. Yeah. So going forward, though, what's really interesting is we keep talking about launch as if that's a moment in time, and I really think that's almost old thinking because there's not really a launch per se anymore. Mostly,
Fair enough.
where we kind of like build up, we get everybody together, we all sit in a room, we talk to you for 2 hours or 2 days, and then we're done and you go home, and that's not going to happen this time, right? So think of it like we are starting to work with you and we're working with others and we're telling our story sort of episodically.
Sure.
And I think that's going to be much more appropriate for where we are today. Like, how do we consume media today?
I think as well to throw you
Launch in
guys
progress,
Yeah.
work in progress,
to throw you guys a bone too. I think this I don't know what you'd call it, sort of tour
roundtable.
that you guys are doing.
Yes.
Because it's not just us.
Yeah,
right.
that's true.
Yeah.
I think that is actually a very good idea because this is very different than what we saw previously. The tone and conversation needs to change a little bit.
Yeah.
And having you guys come out directly, I think was
Thank you,
really
Luke. I
smart.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's not often that people say nice things to us.
Hey, hanging out with this guy, yeah.
It's very
your
rare.
shirt sucks.
It's very rare. Very rare.
Okay, so my kind of last word is the reason that I care so much about Intel entering the discrete GPU space is because it has been very clear to me that while AMD has absolutely had a presence at times, we all had a good laugh about some of the AMD GPUs that we have on our shelf and how utterly irrelevant they were. They didn't participate. They were actually very professional Intel representatives. I laughed. We all laughed. I mean, because they've released SKUs that were essentially just we have
Just some crazy stuff.
chips,
Yeah.
and we have no idea what to do with these. Done a run of cards, and then they've just completely disappeared from the market. And gamers
Sometimes
and
like
press
almost
alike,
none of them too.
Yeah.
gamers
Like
and press
extremely
alike
short
are
runs.
left going, what just happened?
What happened?
So from my point of view, the discrete GPU market has essentially been a monopoly for a very, very long time. And I am rooting for Intel to come in, not necessarily because I'm even going to run an Arc GPU. I'm making no commitments about that whatsoever. But what I want is a true viable other option for gamers. I want something to disrupt the monopoly, and I want you guys to come in and be the good guy. I want you to play the underdog in a way that I don't think Intel's really accustomed to doing.
It's
and
very
how
true.
has that been difficult culturally there?
I don't know. I don't know if I would consider it difficult, right? I think you have to get some of the people on the teams in a little bit of a different mindset, right? But it's actually empowering them, because we always feel like this tour, this kind of serial launch, this episodic launch thing is something you do
When you're
the
scrappier.
underdog,
Yeah,
when you're
you're
scrappy,
scrappier,
right?
and you're like, you're fighting.
if you're launching 13th gen whatever, right?
Yeah.
Crank the crank. You've done it 12 times
You've
before.
done this a bunch. You know you're already the leader. You know you're going to be the leader the next time. You just do it, right? And so it's actually opened up options for us as the graphics group to come out and do things different. Like we're just open. Like how many times did in our discussions here today, you ask us a question and Tom and I are like, just answer it.
Yeah,
just answer it, right?
Yeah.
Like, because we
Like I remember saying, "Can we show blah blah blah?" I'm like, I guess, yeah, sure you can.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. Well, hey, thank you guys very much for being here.
was awesome.
Thank you,
I think
Linus.
this is where you guys get to go get some dinner.
Thank you,
Hey,
sir.
we actually get to like handshake
Great
I
seeing
love
you.
it.
each
It's been a
other in
long time.
person. Yeah, it's
Great seeing you too.
I don't know what is there a clean way to exit?
No, no, no.
while
no,
you're
no,
live?
you're gonna have to walk
Okay,
right in
all
front
right.
of the camera.
Goodbye,
All right,
everybody.
That's what it
Thanks.
is.
See you guys.
See ya.
Hi guys.
Drive safe, safe travels, and all that good stuff.
Bye.
And I think now is a perfect time to mention that apparently you can actually buy that shirt that Ryan was wearing. It is $63.15, according to Dark24 in the Floatplane chat. It's on the Intel store. I am bringing this up. No, it's discounted to $56.80. I don't know if you're aware of this, but there it is. There it is on the theintelstore.com, which I did not even know was a thing.
It's called the Intel Arc Raven jersey.
There you go. All right. So see you
See ya.
later. I don't know how many of those you guys are going to actually sell based on Ryan's appearance here.
They have 8.
They have 8 in stock.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay, well,
I honestly think they're going to be gone.
fewer than 8. Let's go ahead and jump into our sponsors, and then we've got some really big announcements for you guys, as well as a bunch of topics that we didn't really get to because I told them 20 minutes, and we ended up talking for over an
Dude,
hour.
I should have just shook your hand and left with them.
It's
Go
kind of
get
the end of the day, hey? The show is brought to you today by Squarespace. If you're looking at creating and sharing your own content online, give Squarespace a try. Squarespace is the all-in-one platform for building a top-tier website and growing your brand. You can upload or embed your video library and organize it in one of Squarespace's best-in-class templates to explore new ways that you can monetize your content. You can both display your social media content and push website content out to your channels. Plus, with member areas, you can unlock a whole new revenue stream for your videos by allowing you to post exclusive content behind either a subscription or a one-time fee. And Squarespace's analytics and insights ensure that you are optimizing your website every step of the way. So go to squarespace.com/WAN to get 10% off today. The show is also brought to you by Wealthfront. Wealthfront is the automated investment platform that builds a portfolio that's based on your risk tolerance to help you grow your money long term. If you put off investing because you thought it took a ton of time and research, Wealthfront makes it super easy for you to get started. Doesn't have to be like that. All you need is a few minutes and $500 to open an account. You set it up, answer some questions, and let Wealthfront take care of the rest. It's kind of like using Spotify for a personalized playlist built to your tastes. Or you can, if you want, build your own portfolio with hundreds of investment options across tech, healthcare, real estate, and more. Their tax loss harvesting software looks for opportunities daily to help lower your tax bill, and in turn, that can boost your after-tax returns, plus they're always adding new ETFs over time. You can explore all of these investments right on their website, so get your first $5,000 managed for free at wealthfront.com/WAN. Finally, the show is brought to you by Axiom. Thanks to Axiom for sponsoring today's show. If you're familiar with data migrations, you know that one of the biggest problems is missing data. But did you know that one of the most common causes of missing data is the links that break during the migration process itself? Well, Link Fixer Advanced is some seriously savvy, first-of-its-kind software that can prevent missing data by essentially protecting your file links before your migration. They say nothing else in the world can do this. But what if you already migrated and you have thousands of broken links? Well, Link Fixer Advanced has you covered there too. Think of it as your links disaster recovery tool. In the time it takes many IT pros to manually locate and repair a single broken link, Link Fixer Advanced can find and fix about 6,000 of those suckers. They offer a free trial, no credit card required, so go check it out using the link down below. What do you want to talk about first?
I want to talk about our events.
Yeah, I guess we should do
We have
that,
some
hey?
big updates, like kind of across the board.
If I deviate from the script, I think I will actually... Nick Light threatened to kick me in the teeth.
I think I have a James Bond pass,
A what?
a license to kill.
Oh, did he talk to you?
Yeah.
I see. We are doing a pop-up shop. The LTT backpack is here. Dan, are you still here? Do you want to grab those backpacks?
They're behind you.
Oh, they were hiding. They're black. Okay. These are top of production, first off the line units. It's here, but in very, very limited quantities. There will be 250 pieces available tomorrow. It will not be online. It's one backpack per person, and it is in person only. Are we announcing the address right now? I guess we should, right?
If it's in the doc, just say what's in the doc.
Say what's in the doc.
Just say what's in the doc.
Is this address right? This doesn't look right.
It is also on Twitter, so you are fine to say
It
the
looks
address.
correct.
That's 6 digits. That's too long.
Oh.
Is it unit 111 or something? Oh, no, it's unit 6. Okay. Well, I'm very nervous about this.
I think one of the 11s at the beginning is not there. I'm going to check on.
Yeah, that would be great if you
Yeah,
could just double
I
check
will.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, it's going to be in Richmond, BC on Annacis Island. The pop-up is around the back of the unit by the bay doors, not where Google will direct you. This is not a meetup or a meet and greet. It's an opportunity to be one of the first 250 people to buy the LTT backpack. Luke and I are not going to be there. If you're not able to make it, don't worry. I am going to explain why we are doing this. There's a business reason for doing this. It actually cost us, I think, somewhere in the neighborhood of $60 to $70 per unit to have these 250 air-shipped from the factory to us here. So the rest of them, well, they're in production. They're going to be shipped overseas, but it's going to take a while. The problem is that we have had some cash flow challenges, and this is a way for us to solve them without compromising our principles, which is that we don't believe that people should pre-order something entirely sight unseen from, essentially you're like, we've never made a backpack before, right? Like, we're not talking, this is the refreshed version of a thing you already had and already liked.
So we're trying to. Are we deviating from the?
So what we're doing is we air shipped in these units that we're not going to make nearly as much money on. We're still making some margin. We're not like losing our shirts here or anything like that. But we air shipped in 250 units. We are going to sell them in person at the pop-up shop, which is at 11411 Blacksmith Place, unit number 6 in Richmond. And once people have bought it, they can leave a review. They can share their completely independent thoughts on it. At that time, it will not become a pre-order. It will become a back order, and we will open up web orders. So you will be able to get in line. So
there will be 250 legitimate potential reviews from actual customers that actually own the product,
Yes.
are able to bring it home, are able to throw stuff in it, bring it to school. Like, people might not review it the second they buy it,
No,
because they haven't
I
used
wouldn't
it yet.
expect them to.
So reviews are going to come up after people use it for maybe a week or two or whatever. But we need time to get stock anyways, so it doesn't
Yes.
matter.
People are asking scalper protections, 1 per customer, and it's in person. It'll be fine. I'm not expecting people to scalp the backpack.
There's only so much you can do about scalp protection.
Yeah, and it's happening tomorrow morning. We are intentionally giving people like 15 hours of notice. What does this work out to? Yeah, it'll be at from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. It'll be $324.99 Canadian plus tax, and it'll be again at 11411 Blacksmith Place, unit number 6 in Richmond. It's also on Twitter, like Luke said. Okay. Nick says back orders will start shipping around the end of August, pending any shipping delays, which are very common right now. And when you are there, you will have the option to buy some other LTT gear and carry it away in your backpack. If, for whatever reason, we don't have any backpacks left, which I think is unlikely. We intentionally didn't give people a ton of notice so that they don't drop everything they're doing and book a flight or something. Like, that's not what we want happening here.
You think we're not going to sell them all tomorrow?
I think it's possible. I think it's also possible that we could have sold 5 times as many. It's impossible for me to gauge stuff like this. I have no idea. But we wanted to err on the side of not giving people a ton of notice, not doing it as a meetup or offering any other incentive for anybody to be there, because there isn't a ton of parking. Like, it's very small, very unofficial. But while you're there, you will have the option to buy other LTT gear. And if there isn't a backpack, at the very least, you can pick something else up and there'll be no shipping. But it's only for those 2 hours, 10 a.m. to noon.
No cash, by the way. Someone asked about cash. It is all in Canadian because we're putting up a location.
Yeah, I think legally we have to accept Canadian dollars.
There's technically ways around it, but we are not doing those.
Okay.
Because it's an online store, blah, 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 blah. But it's going to be in Canadian, it's going to be in person, and no cash. It's just cards.
No screwdriver will not be there, to those of you asking. Screwdriver is not ready yet. Like, the design is done. I actually got to show it to Tom and Ryan, which was pretty fun, because they were like, wow, this has been like a long time in the making. And I'm like, yeah, 2.5 years. They're like, oh, wow. But what was really cool was one of the things we're going to do for the screwdriver pop-up, which we are planning, is we're going to have competing drivers there.
Yeah.
Whether it's from Vera, Klein, Snap-on, we're going to have tons of competing drivers. And so we actually have those already. We bought them because they weren't going to send them to us for this.
Yeah.
And so I was able to give them the one golden unit we have, the one final unit we have with all the fixes applied, and all these other drivers, and be like, so, what do you think? I'm not going to spoil it, but I'm bullish on the launch. I'll say that much. All right. When will the backorder open? I don't think we have finalized exactly when backorders will open, but if you've already signed up for an in-stock notification, you will receive a notification that we are taking backorders. So that tool is not super granular. So it's just going to be like 54,000 emails or whatever at once.
Yeah.
If you get that email, place your order, because otherwise, there is literally a snowball's chance in hell that you are getting one of the first. Like, if you want something for back to school, you
got to get on the first wave.
You make sure you're going to need to be on the first order. I think they're going to be spaced out either a few weeks or a month apart after that, each 10,000 units. So if you have something that you can limp along with for the first week of school or something like that, but you want to have it for the start of the year-ish, I'm not promising it'll actually be there start of the year, then you're going to want to be on that first wave. All right. People ask, what about bots? There are no bots. It is in person.
It's in person. It's in person.
Cannot buy it online.
You have to buy it with your face being there.
Yeah, we will not give you a second one. It's very simple.
Yeah.
All right. What else do you want to talk about?
The other event updates.
Oh, do we have updates on the other event?
Whaleland. There's a sneak peek of the event page, which is
really
not actually that interesting.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to bring it up anyway.
But it's there.
Oh,
the logo looks cool.
God, this logo.
The logo is awesome.
Sarah.
Okay, yeah. So I did mean the page, not the logo. The page is just kind of sort of, I mean, it's a thing. That's a map, I guess. But the logo is super legit.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We're doing merch with that logo, right?
I would certainly hope so.
Yeah, I believe we are. I'm not certain, though.
Oh, man.
But yeah, updates for Whaleland. There's a current event map. There's that sneak peek of the event page, which shows their super cool logo.
Whoa, event map? I want to see the event map. I haven't even seen this. Is it any good?
Tickets will go on sale Tuesday at 12 p.m. next week. We'll send out links to the event page on social media and the forum before tickets go live. Full ticket details will be available on the event page prior/during ticket sales. The regular ticket will be $100 Canadian. The whale ticket, TBD, gonna be a lot. The whole point is that it's
a whale ticket. The
Yeah.
numbers I've heard thrown around internally are not hundreds.
Yeah. Yeah, but regular tickets, they get you quite a bit. I don't see exact details about what they get you here in regards to like desk space and stuff like that, so I won't say them, but I will say what I've seen so far spec'd out is a lot more than what you get at a normal LAN.
By the
so that's
way,
cool.
massive shout outs. Ubiquity, FS.com, and Infinite Cables. Those guys have actually sponsored us the gear that we need to run the event. Ubiquity sent over 20 network switches. We are going to get 10 gig to each desktop switch. So we're going to have almost full gig to every user,
Super
which
cool.
is kind of cool. Kind of cool. FS.com sent all the transceivers that we need to connect them, including some long distance transceivers, because we're going to be going all the way from this building to that one for internet. There's going to be a video about that, I guarantee it. And Infinite Cables sent literally thousands of feet of Ethernet patch cables. So massive, massive shout out to those guys. Really excited.
Where's this page? There's just a picture of it.
Yeah, it's just a picture of it.
Yeah.
Tickets, did you say when tickets will go on sale?
Yep, Tuesday, 12 p.m.
Yeah, and this one you can fly out for. Like this one, yeah, we're accepting online orders for tickets.
Oh, someone in Floatplane chat said if the price isn't $6,969, we will riot. That's a pretty good idea.
Yeah. Well, there's also 6,942 cents.
Yeah.
That's not bad either.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll
That's pretty
see.
good.
We'll see, guys. We're definitely gonna. So the point is not to rip off LAN. The point is whale LAN. So one of the challenges is coming up with enough value add to justify charging that kind of price for a ticket.
There's some really cool ideas, but it's going to be unattainable for the vast majority of people, which is why regular ticket, while still not like the cheapest thing to do in a world, it's a 3-day event, and like we have to rent all these tables and
well, it's like
all this
2 days
stuff.
with like
it bridges 3 days.
it does, but
Yeah.
it's a 2-day event. I just want to clarify that.
Okay.
Yeah, there's not much
It's a 2-day
event
event that
happening
happens
outside
on
of
3 days.
the 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens over 3 days. He's
Yeah.
right. Yes. All right. What's next?
Your favorite topic of the night?
Oh no!
Maybe?
Really? Do we have to talk about that?
I think it's a
Fine. I'm just.
good thing to bring up.
It's just depressing.
Unity acquires IronSource, an ad tech company. The CEO of Unity, let me see here. Unity CEO John Riccitiello. John. I've heard his last name said before, but I don't remember how to say it. He used to be EA CEO from 2007 to 2013. He has called people who make games for art instead of profit before the most beautiful, pure, and brilliant people, and he's also called them some of the biggest fucking idiots that exist. So he's an interesting person, and he's running the show over there, and he's integrating this ad company, IronSource, which isn't just a random ad company, because IronSource has been caught doing lots of super, super, super shady things in the past. They are logged on a bunch of like malware tracking websites. They've done really shady like clickjacking stuff. They're like not exactly the most clean, ad company out there. IronSource, so this also comes with them laying off. We don't know how many people. Unity says just over 200 people, or about 4% of its former staff. But staff are saying it's more than that, and people are guessing that it's around 300 to 400 people, so who knows. So they laid off a bunch of people, bought this company. They've also been buying a ton of other companies, because that is absolutely
What you do when you lay people off?
the way to go in gaming right now is buy all the other companies. Gaming is consolidating as hard as it possibly can right now. It's brutal. Did it not work?
Apparently not. Don't worry about it.
Awesome. We should really just get Go XLRs. What was I going to say? Yeah, so they've recently bought Ziva Dynamics in January, a digital character creator. Pixis Software, a data handling company, SpeedTree, an environment developer, Parsec, the whole remote desktop thing that we were talking about earlier in the show, is now owned by Unity. Weta Digital, a VFX platform, and Sync Sketch, a collaboration tool maker. They have bought all of those fairly recently. So they're trying to be like Microsoft and Sony and everybody else.
Well, that's good for the industry.
Yeah, awesome.
All right. Well, I don't know what this means for the future of Unity. I mean,
Bad things.
Overall, Unity's perception in the gaming industry has still been pretty good.
I mean, until now.
But yeah, this could just be the first in a series of horrible moves. Only time will tell.
Yeah, Unreal's dropping Unreal 5 and like changing what people see as the future of video games fidelity-wise, and Unity is trying to give you more ads.
Yeah, which is neat, I guess.
Pretty cool.
Sony announces PlayStation Stars loyalty program. This is launching apparently later this year and is free to join. And you can earn rewards by completing campaigns and activities. So an example would be a monthly check-in campaign that requires you to play just any game to receive a reward. Kind of smacks of desperation, but okay, here we go. There's other
Monthly
campaigns and
check-in.
activities, including competing in tournaments, earning specific trophies, or being the first player in a particular time zone to platinum a blockbuster title.
That's cool.
PlayStation Plus members earn more rewards than non-subscribers, and it does not replace Sony rewards. The idea was to create a program that honors the role PlayStation may have had in someone's life.
Well, that's a really weird note.
What
I
a
have no idea what that means.
What a lofty goal. It's named
What the
after
heck?
stars, because stars are apparently unbound and limitless,
Okay.
lining up with Sony's slogan, "Play has no limits."
All right.
Frankly, this is feeling kind of cringe.
This is weird.
All PlayStation Stars members will have the opportunity to earn loyalty points, and they can redeem them in a
Neat.
catalog which may include PSN wallet funds and select PlayStation Store products. So in-game achievements essentially now have real value tied to them. Is it a matter of time until you can buy achievements? So we have a cash achievement store that you can then redeem for PSN wallet funds, and then
Oh my goodness.
and all the currencies are just we're gonna have like a real time like Sony currency exchange, market.
I think some of the marketing around this is weird and cringe, like you said earlier. But I don't think it's a bad idea. I think rewarding, like they're talking about like a speed run to get to platinum a game in a certain time zone, like rewarding players that are going to be that enthusiastic for your games.
I guess so. It doesn't seem very scalable. Like I maybe reward the first 1,000 or something. I don't know.
Oh, but you just make a race. And I mean, they could do that in the future. They could scale it up.
Yeah, sure.
And they talked about how like there's I suspect there's going to be a variety of different types of rewards and those types of things. But they're rewarding their super hardcores, which makes sense to me.
Floatplane chat speculating that it's a matter of time before they just are all NFTs. There's no indication if these digital collectibles that they are going to be able to reward people with can be traded or sold. Language used makes them sound a little bit like NFTs, but Sony VP Grace Chen says it is not leveraging any blockchain technology and definitely is not NFTs.
I mean, we've talked about this before. You can accomplish a lot of the things that people think about when they think of an NFT
yes.
without using blockchain or anything like that, and being way more energy efficient and all that type of stuff, but just not using those types of security methods. And I mean, yeah, totally unnecessary. So sounds good.
Great. We've got really good feedback from someone on Twitch. I think I've gotten over LTT. I'll need to push this content away. Now the content is just too mainstream. The old content was better. Yeah, we went really mainstream talking about like RAM latency and frequency trade-offs with RAM with like, the engineer who worked on XMP.
Mm-hmm.
That was super mainstream.
Definitely.
It was super mainstream. To be clear, you don't have to like the content. Like it's not for everybody, but I don't think mainstream is the issue. We should probably respond to some comments from people who sent merch messages. Do you want to hit us with some of those, Bill?
Hey.
Oh, actually, you know what we should really do is talk about whatever the LTT store thing that's going on this week is. We had our guests on for so long, we couldn't really
What is it?
weave this stuff into the rest of the video.
Is it just the pop-up?
Oh, wait, yeah, I guess, do we not have anything to talk about?
I think we did it. I don't see it anywhere in
Oh,
here.
okay. Well, in case anyone just needed to pick up something at the store and they wanted to send a merch message, what do we got, Belle?
First one here from Joshua. Hey guys, according to you, over the years, which company, except Intel, has shown the most growth in a positive way?
Shown the most growth in a positive way.
I wouldn't even necessarily, you said except Intel. I don't think we were talking about it being growth with Intel. Intel has always taken hits and still been there. That wasn't a growth point. That was just something that they've always been good at.
Man, that's really hard to say because I think most of the companies that have a super toxic culture that doesn't enable them to take feedback well, it comes from the top, you know? And until there's a major
That's not going to change.
leadership change,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I've only been in the industry for 10 years, which is a long time, but it's, well, okay, like 12 or 13, but it's not a lifetime, right? So a lot of the companies that we work with still have exactly the same leadership that they had when I started. Like Corsair, like their founder, Andy, is still there in his office. Like, so companies that have a good culture, like Corsair, like Intel, and Intel is less about that the same leadership is there and more that they've just grown far beyond any one individual being capable of moving the whole ship. Though, I mean, I would say counterpoint to that is that Pat Gelsinger has actually seemed to make an enormous difference there. So
I've almost shifted back and been like, maybe it is Intel, even though they said except Intel, because they brought Pat in. Noctua?
No, Noctua's always been
Noctua's
cool.
like the same.
And
yeah.
Samsung,
In a good way, yeah.
Samsung has always like
Samsung seems
cheated
the
on
same.
benchmarks and gotten salty when they get caught. Like I
Yeah,
don't know. Like it's
yeah.
just
A lot of the companies are acting very similarly to how they did when I first started paying attention, at least.
yeah.
Corsair is still trying to make everything in the world.
Yeah.
Like they were trying to do that before. They just have more of them now. But like that is yeah. I guess it depends on how you define growth. But
Yeah, I think that was the context of it. But
I think
yeah,
so too.
What else you got
Yeah.
for us?
From Ryan, I'm wondering what you guys think of the Polium 1 console and the graphics for them. A quick 3-word summary to give them would be NFT crypto console.
Oh, that thing. Yeah, it's just stupid. I don't know.
Polium 1
It's just
console.
dumb.
How
It's
have I
a
not
it's a
even
Web
heard of
3. It's
this?
just dumb.
A console for Web3 gaming.
There's a dedicated button on your controller that is for your crypto wallet and like all this.
What?
Yeah.
What even is it? Up to 120 frames per second.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I
Super cool.
love it when you see game console marketing that is up to some frame rate. At what resolution? At what render quality? Obviously, you know, not at this resolution.
Check out the first
Obviously,
listed
not
app.
with this on.
Scroll down to
It's a multi-chain console. Play games that are built on Immutable X. Solana Polygon X. Okay. Are these actual games? This one's twice. This one's listed twice.
what one's listed twice?
Grit is listed twice.
Oh, that's just like it's resuming.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
it's not actually listed twice. My favorite thing was just that the first app listed is Wallet. I just find that very entertaining.
A controller that is built for Web3 gaming.
Yeah, because it has a wallet button.
What does that even mean?
And it has like a biometric scanner, I believe, in order to unlock your wallet or something.
But
something
why do
like
you
that.
need it when you're gaming?
It's like Ouya, but with blockchain.
Look at this roadmap.
I stole that from AJ.
Polium
Thanks, AJ.
Pass, profile picture airdrop.
Dude, it's a Web3 project. It has to have a roadmap that means basically nothing.
Game tag claim. Why does that take a year? It's been found to be a scam, I believe, says Ducky Luitznimpa. I mean, it was a scam regardless of whether they were actually going to build
What?
this thing.
No way.
Estimated launch date 2024. Oh, it's not even a thing. So it's just renders. We are building it. It will be worth the wait. It's the future of gaming. Okay.
It is.
So what just happened? The Polium Pass will grant you access to the Polium ecosystem.
Do you have to buy an NFT to get the Polium Pass?
I don't know. I
Please
don't
tell
even
me that's true.
understand this.
I wish that.
Oh, yeah,
That'd be
Mint.
so awesome.
Wait, no, TBD. No, you can't even. Well, it's a bad scam because you can't even do it. Okay. Well, good luck with that. Why don't we jump into another topic? Oh no, Dr. Disrespect lets fans playtest his game if they buy an NFT. Midnight Society, this is not a group of children in the woods telling stories, released a roadmap for their new game codenamed Project Moon. Project Moon will be a PvPvE FPS that is created openly and transparently, one snapshot build at a time.
That's going well for Star Citizen.
Okay, you went there. Snapshots will be vertical slices playable every 6 weeks, exclusively available to Access Pass holders. The original run of Access Passes, called Founders Passes, were supposedly sold at a cost of $50 to 10,000 people. That is $500,000 That is $500,000.
Boom.
They applied and filled out a form back in March. The form was designed to keep scalpers away and included things like their social handles, usernames on consoles, and a questionnaire about their gaming experience and playstyle. They claim they received 400,000 applications.
Wow.
Scamming people seems to be super lucrative. Should I get
Yeah.
into it?
No.
Seems like it would be, okay, here's my deal, okay?
If you want to win, but win without morals, it's quite easy.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'll start scamming people.
Okay.
I will double my money.
Nice.
And I'll pay you another 10% to keep you quiet.
That's a pretty high percentage, actually.
That seems like a good deal, right?
That's a lot.
Yeah, well, no,
Wow.
not 10% of the total. I'm going to keep most of that. 10% more than you have now.
Oh, that's still pretty good.
Okay.
I'm not down, though. It's a
For
good
the-
offer, but I
for the-
refuse
The people out there that are taking this seriously,
because it's going to happen.
good gravy, you guys. A, if I was actually considering this, I wouldn't talk about it on the WAN show. Okay. And B, no, come on. Okay. Several people on Reddit have reported receiving their invitation to purchase those passes only in the last couple of weeks. Players that were not selected to receive an access pass are apparently able to purchase NFTs on the open market, but a very quick search on OpenSea revealed no record of any selling yet. Feedback from access pass holders is then to be implemented in future builds of the game. Founders Pass holders will apparently get invited to a party in LA on July
yes.
29th.
That's a very-
Wow.
that's a
That's in
very
like
crypto thing.
2 weeks.
Nice.
So is this just $50 for early access to a game and some early bird perks? And if so, does it need to be NFTs? Does it need to be Web3?
Definitely doesn't. Does it give you access to the game once it's out? Or do you just have the NFT proving that you were like an alpha member or whatever?
I do not know. That is a wonderful question.
Not sure.
Oh man. In other news, BMW.
It sucks so much because,
Yeah. Okay.
like-
Never mind. We're not moving on.
sorry, the game concept sounds cool. And like when you hear Dr.
Yeah.
D talk about shooters and stuff like that, he's super knowledgeable. He used to be a
Yeah,
level
he's a
designer.
Yeah.
Like with his guidance, this game could be really awesome. And then it's just being tainted for no good reason. Well,
the
I guess
taint.
there is a reason.
Maximum.
I don't
taint.
necessarily agree that it's good. He might think that it's good. It's gonna make a lot of money.
Yeah, that's good from a business standpoint.
Yeah, so like, and I get that part, but it's just like, man, like, did you have to? The whole like world is moving away from this stuff. Could you drop it? Can you drop it partway through? Like, can you do NFTs for this part? Sure, whatever, you already committed to it, just do it, and then just drop it. Like, don't have it be a part of the game launch. That would be so much better, please, because it's probably going to be a great game.
Unarmed Toaster over on Floatplane goes, credit where credit is due. The doc has picked the right combo to scam and make sure the government doesn't enforce any fraud laws. Crypto? Check.
And
Video games? Check. Kickstarter? Check. Can we please get a tech scam bingo card in the LTT store?
Yeah, like, man, come on. It could be so good. And this year's actually been pretty good for gaming. And like, I know it's not coming out this year or whatever, but like, we're kind of picking the roll up again. We got some really good launches this year. There was a few kind of dead years there. We're picking it back up again. It would be great for this game to actually be really good. Please just drop the like weird NFT crap and make it a good game.
All right.
That's
There's
it.
one more thing I want to talk about before I play some Miner VGA on stream.
Okay. What is it?
I want to talk about BMW requiring you to pay a subscription to use seat
So didn't we
warmers.
talk about literally this?
Yes.
But
Years ago.
I didn't think we just guessed this though. Like
Oh,
when
have they
someone
been doing it already?
when someone linked me to this, I was like, wasn't this already a thing?
I don't think for BMW. Tesla was doing it. Yeah.
What? Tesla was doing subscriptions for seat warmers?
Well, I don't know if it was a subscription, but it was certainly an unlock. You guys will have to let us know. But yes, it was absolutely a DLC. Anyway, the latest version of this nonsense is that in South Korea, BMW launched heated seats in their vehicles if you pay $18 a month. This joins a host of other subscription features in their connected drive store that includes Driving Assistant Plus, High Beam Assist, and others. Back in 2019, after BMW tried to put CarPlay and I believe Android Auto behind a subscription wall in the US for $80 a year, that is, or $300 for 20 years, they relented and made the feature standard on all new models. What were you going to say?
I was just maybe it was one of the other features because they said they're adding it to their CarPlay whatever thing. So maybe it was some other feature we were talking about. But I was pretty sure we had talked about BMW and subscription stuff for their cars before. But yeah, I mean, we've been telling everyone this is coming for the better part of a decade.
Yeah,
I think this is one of the like oldest and most prolific like WAN show prophecies.
everything as a service.
Yeah.
Absolutely your entire life as a service. You will never own anything.
You're not going to be allowed to own anything.
You will just subscribe to absolutely everything. I mean, I didn't even realize this, but when James bought his Model 3, the lease terms for Tesla do not allow you to buy out the lease at the end of the term. It goes back to Tesla, presumably to be part of their robo fleet or whatever, meaning that when you lease a Tesla, you own absolutely nothing.
You're renting it.
Yeah, and that's a model that is going to be a thing, and the reason that they are not allowing him to buy it out is so that that car can be used as a car as a service robo-taxi, essentially, if they ever get their full self-driving figured out. I didn't actually read the quote, but apparently Daddy Elon was somewhat realistic about a self-driving update recently. Instead of just saying,
Wait, was he?
yeah, it's like right around the corner, we got this.
We'll see.
Apparently Tesla also just lost their AI lead.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
Apparently, we have talked about specifically BMW seat warmers before. We talked about it about a year ago.
Oh, all right. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Now we know.
I don't know if maybe we heard like a leak or something, and now it's actually here or what. But yeah.
Now it's time to play Miner VGA.
Oh my goodness.
That's right. This is Minecraft before Minecraft. You don't craft anything. You just make money. Okay. If you press up here, it goes, you can't fly, dummy. There's like a feed. There's a feed here. If you can see here if you want. So you go up, you try. If you want to go down, it says try the elevator. I forget the buttons. Restoring your game.
I gotta scooch to see this.
Oh, what just happened? I pressed C. Oh wow.
Broke it.
Oh wow. Thank you. Okay, restart this game. Here we go. Miner VGA.
I love those graphics.
Please wait while I load the sprite lab. Here we go. Arrow keys to move the miner. Top, bottom. How do you?
So the reason
enter?
the reason why this is happening right now is Linus was getting confused about how to get into, launch, and play Minecraft. And his son had to give him some tech tips. And he felt, emasculated about it.
Yeah.
So now he has to show that Miner VGA is
superior.
Yeah.
Okay, D for drill, P for pump water, and Y to initiate a dynamite blast. So let's remember all that.
Blast.
Yeah, there's dynamite.
So do you have to you said to make money, do you have to buy stuff like dynamite?
Yeah. So here's the store. I'm definitely going to need a shovel. So that is now in my inventory here. I will definitely need a pickaxe. Oh no, money does not last very long.
Oh, do these things break
in this game?
They have durability?
Yeah, they will break.
Oh.
I will definitely need a bucket, just in case. And I don't remember everything else that I might need. I don't remember what the point of the bar is.
What's the
saloon's closed?
Water bucket for?
The water bucket is for in case it floods.
Oh.
Okay, this will cash in your stuff, so we're going to exit to leave the bank. All right.
You guys enjoying this Let's Play?
We're playing some Miner VGA here,
We're actually announcing right now that we're releasing a gaming channel It's not going to be gaming news or anything like that. It's just going to be Linus playing DOS
Immediately,
games.
people start subscribing on Twitch. No. We're not. This is not gaming. Okay, so we're gonna go. Okay. There was a bit of a cave in there. We lost 14% of our health, and it caved
What happens
in.
if you die? Is it just over?
Okay, I think I have already reached a non-progression scenario. If you click into these, like, I don't know, squiggly things, it causes cave-ins. So I granite is too hard to dig. Okay.
He died in the mine.
Yeah, I've only have granite is too hard to dig. I cannot get back to the elevator.
So would you need dynamite to blast that out of the way, or
Yeah, and I don't have any. Well,
he
too
died
bad there's
in the
no
mine?
microtransactions that allow me to. I mean, I guess we can dig for a bit longer. You at least don't lose health when you try to dig granite here. Oh, huh. I can't believe how quickly that got bad.
Wait, Luke, you serious? No, I'm not serious. We are not launching a gaming Let's Play VOD channel on YouTube anytime soon.
By the way, you might have noticed at this point that my bank account goes down every time I move.
Oh,
Yeah.
we should tell Dr. Disrespect about that.
Oh God, it flooded.
That'd be really good for his game.
So I'm down to only $572 now. I finally found 1 unit of silver. Oh, I found nuggets of gold. This is good. I got a cave in, but I found some gold, silver. Oh my goodness, more silver. Oh wow. Oh, I've actually got some stuff. It would be really. Oh my goodness.
You can't go through the surface at all. You have to go through the elevator.
Oh, absolutely. I might not have enough money to get around this flood. Hold on. Oh my. Okay. All right. If we can find a way, does anybody know how to get back in the elevator? Because that would be great. Maybe we can.
What's happening right now?
Can we pickaxe this thing? Do you remember the
I never played this
the
game.
buttons? No, but I said remember something.
Oh. No.
Has anyone ever heard of this game before?
V? I remember V being one of the keybinds. Miner VGA keybinds.
Yeah, I can't get back to the elevator. Go to the bottom and press B. No, that's not anything.
I googled Miner VGA keybinds, and one of the first results was the Star Citizen Alpha controls and key bindings.
Nice.
That's very funny.
Nice. Oh, you need to give us the Kickstarter hammer update.
Oh, it was a...
No, tell us about it. Okay. After the stream last time, Luke was like, holy crap, there's an actual update. Can you bring it up?
I can work on that if you want to keep playing Miner VGA for a bit.
I mean, yeah, I'm down to play some Miner VGA. I'm going to go ahead and take another crack at this, if that's okay with everyone.
Yeah.
I love this. Your health was 30%. Your final account balance was $148. Thanks for playing Miner VGA. Hope you had a good time. May the hair on your toes never fall off. Frodo. Press any key to continue. Oh, I love it. Oh, man. Okay. All right, guys. We are going to need to get some dynamite this time. And dynamite is why. How do I place dynamite? That's not clear. Okay, P for pump water, D for drill granite. All right. We got this.
Is it possible that buy in place is the same keybind?
Yes, that's entirely possible. So we're going to head to the store. We definitely need a shovel. That makes your digging much easier. I'm going to get a drill instead of a pickaxe this time. A durable drill, sir. Okay, dynamite is $300 though. You guys saw how much digging I had to do to find any silver. Like if I buy all the equipment, I'm going to run out of money before I even find a single thing that I can cash in.
I'm going to show you my password for this Kickstarter thing. So I make my passwords phrases, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't say it out loud for obvious reasons, but there'll often be something I either said recently or thought or heard or whatever.
Yes.
And this one just made me laugh. I didn't know that was the password. You guys won't get to know what it is, but it's very funny.
Oh my goodness. How rude.
Apparently, I don't know what was going on. I don't remember making that.
You know what? I'm going to fly close to the sun again. I'm not buying dynamite. I can't afford it.
Oh boy.
Okay. We're going to go down a little deeper this time. And we're going to kind of clear out some, oh my goodness, the way it reloads like that. We're going to try to clear out some space next to the elevator shaft here. Oh, we found streaks of silver. 6 silver. Okay, granite is too hard to dig. Okay, we're going to try and drill the granite though. Oh yeah, we drilled that granite. It done got drilled. Ooh, it costs money to drill granite though. Maybe we just don't drill granite? Sandstone easy digging. I'm down to $458 and I have 7 streaks. Oh, I found gold. Crap.
So does that automatically pay you, or do you have to
Okay.
go sell it?
You have to go sell it. The spring is really bad. I hit it twice because I didn't react in time and it filled up with more water.
Ooh.
Springs are awful. And you can like pump the water out, but it's very expensive and there's a good chance you'll die. Okay, we got a cave in here. Okay, but we survived. I have 72 health and I'm down to $9 in my bank account. That is as far as I explored. We need to go to the bank and we need to see how much we can sell these streaks of silver and nuggets of gold for. All right.
I've got it, by the way.
We have $485. Okay, well, why don't you give the update while I continue to try to stay alive here?
So we have the coal bar hammer update. It's kind of like sad and somewhat of
Oh,
a and
really?
somewhat of a nothing burger. It's so I'll go over it.
I was rooting for the coal bar.
There is progress.
Really?
There is theoretically
Theoretical
progress. We'll talk
progress.
about there was regression, and then there was re-progress. I should say they reprogged.
Seriously?
So hello everyone. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to read the whole thing. It's like really long.
I think you should read the whole thing.
Okay, fine. Hello, we're back is the name of the update. This is update number 93. We are now in the year 2022, just in case you didn't know. I backed this, I believe, like 2012, 2013, around there.
Wow.
Hello, everyone. Well, it's been ages since the last update. Not going to beat around the bush, but COVID absolutely killed us. We were all ready to go with the new gears and positive outcome with unofficial load testing, but then we were dropped by Modern Forge, which was the forge company they were going to work with. So the people that were going to make it
Right.
dropped them. In addition, my wife and myself were very ill with COVID to the point where we both were deathly ill, especially my wife, who at one point I thought we lost. I won't go into detail, but it was bad, very, very bad. It has taken us months to recover in our personal and financial lives.
Oh, wow.
I thought it might be over for Coal Bar, as we could not find any forging facilities that would take us on. We wanted to keep everything US-based, but everyone was and is in the same boat. Labor and raw material shortages, and it just ends there, but you know what I mean. We even searched Canada and Mexico to no avail. I thought we would have to wait until everything got back to normal, but we finally found an outfit willing to help. It was a small miracle, as it is virtually impossible for startups to get forging. Our new facility is, I don't know if he should have name dropped the person in here,
Oh.
but he did. So our new facility is Green Bay Drop Forge in WI, which I think is Wisconsin.
Yep.
Our contact there is, I don't know. I'm just going to skip that. It's on screen. Whatever. Scott Stutzman. Please don't be mean. Seriously.
They've been through.
They've been through a lot. First of all, don't troll the Coal Bar Hammer people, and also don't troll their forge people.
Yeah.
Just leave them alone.
We shouldn't have to say that, but we do for some
yeah.
reason.
We all owe him, Scott, a great deal of gratitude, as Coal Bar would be dead in the water if it weren't for him and GBDF. We have assembled a new team, which I will introduce in another update. We have some of the same team members, but also some new faces as we give this thing another shot.
This
Because
is a
they
long
kind
update.
they have to semi-reorg. All these updates are super long. Every
Oh,
single
wow,
one's
okay.
like massive. They have to semi-reorg because it's been I think over a year since they had that previous forging partner, etc.
Right. Wild.
As far as updates go, I'm no longer updating. Unless we have something concrete to share. Don't be mean, but them updates have been pretty far apart. There has just been too much negativity and outright harassment, and this is probably kind of true, of me and my family. I just can't take that anymore, so I will simply be posting updates as things happen, but most likely won't be commenting. Case in point, and then he shows some screenshots of some comments that happened on the Kickstarter. Somebody who renamed their account Never Getting My Coal Bar. He said, if anyone wants to update their profile picture with a sad coal, here's the image. Look at that. I just provided more than this project ever has.
I mean, I understand people being upset about not getting it, but yeah, at this point,
there was another rough one. So he posted that a few times, and then he posted, this was started in 2013. At the current decay rate of human tissue, I'm fairly certain Cole's body will be considered human compost by the time anything is, and then it trails off.
yeah.
So it got a lot more negative.
Clearly unnecessary.
The like picture is like pretty bad. That last one that I just read is like way too far, and you should not do that stuff. That's really stupid. Moving on from there, he said, I can't even begin to tell you how...
How long is this?
We're almost done. This is why I said I didn't want to read the whole thing.
All right. fair enough.
I can't even begin to tell you how this broke my father's heart, but this is the reason we don't update much unless we have something. After what we've been through over the last couple of years, I just don't have the mental capacity right now. I will be delegating some of the updating responsibilities as well so I can focus on pre-production. We have more updates with the forging process now that we have another opportunity to produce the coal bar. Thank you for your time.
I mean, this is one of those things where at a certain there's like a how understanding I am scale, and it starts very high because you don't expect anything immediately, and then it goes very low because it's like time to deliver the product, and then it actually starts to go up again because if they're still trying after all that time, you got to kind of respect the hustle.
That's kind of how I feel about it, because I have been legitimately burned on a couple Kickstarters.
Oh, me too.
I literally got one person who, like, I asked for a refund and he's just like, no. I was like, but you didn't do it. And he was like, yeah. And like, he didn't try. This was like 1 month afterwards. He's like, yeah, I'm not making it. Even though he passed his goal, he just gave up immediately and was like, I'm keeping the money. It was just like, okay, this is like a decade later.
Yeah. Like 8 years or something like that.
Why would they still be posting updates if they weren't trying? And they're like naming forging companies that like people could follow. But people could follow through on and like verify are real companies that actually have this contract and stuff.
Yeah.
Like they are actually doing something. I don't like believe I'm ever going to hold a coal bar hammer.
Yeah.
But like at this point, like they tried. Even if they do completely fail, I feel a lot worse about the ones where I just genuinely got burned on it. I knew the whole time going into Kickstarter that these aren't guaranteed products. And with this one, like there was some blood, sweat, and tears put into it. So like,
yeah.
whatever.
I mean, if they were still taking money, that would be a problem.
Yeah, but they're not. And some Kickstarters do that. They'll like finish their Kickstarter and then open up another website to continue taking pre-orders and stuff, and then still not deliver.
Yep.
They didn't do that. So yeah, I don't know. It's sad that the update was so sad, but I hope we have some good ones in the future.
Here's my update. I have $17 left in my bank account. My health is at 49%, and I bumped into this spring. I have no minerals whatsoever. So even in the event that I do manage to get back to the elevator, I got caved in on. Okay, there's a spring. I'm dead.
So you just die when you run out of money.
Yeah, this game is hard mode. And so unfair.
There's a lot of springs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all right. I'm taking one last attempt at Miner VGA. Here we go. All right, game streaming.
Should we is there more merch messages? No. Okay.
A lot of people saying we should buy Coal Bar and just make that our next hardware re-release.
It's actually really hard. Like from reading the updates over the years, some of the stuff that they have to go through is like tough.
I mean, we know from doing the screwdriver, like just because something is seemingly simple.
But like this is a collapsible and take take apartable hammer that turns into a crowbar.
Yeah, no, I know.
So it's a
but
destruction tool. So it has to be like load bearing and stuff.
I know.
Like it's actually difficult.
I found some platinum. This is good news.
Are you a baller? Should you just go sell it to make sure that you don't like die prematurely?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I sold it already. So now I'm gonna go to the general store. Wait, why do I have? I pressed R and restored my last game. I no longer have the platinum. What if I R again?
The drama.
Oh crap! I have only $850. Oh, this sucks. Oh.
What is this game called again? Miner what?
Wait. You need the stupid I think the lantern is what does this. It makes it so that if you move around, you get a preview of what's there, but you have to like move close to it. Over and over again or something. Oh my goodness. Another spring. Freaking
I was gonna do a This Is Rocket League yell, but I didn't know the name of the game. So and now it's been too long. But just imagine that it happened.
Okay. Right. Is it the lantern or the torch that like tells you there's something there? Okay. And then if I want to know what it is, I think you gotta like move around a lot. Patience. Patience is the name of this game.
Doesn't it just burn all your money?
No. It only costs money to actually dig.
Oh,
Okay,
to
we're
new
going for it.
tiles.
Oh,
Okay.
silver. Nice. Oh my god. When it has to redraw the whole page like that when you go up and down over a certain threshold.
Yeah. It's pretty brutal.
Okay, we've got 11 silvers. Oh, this is looking promising. Here's some gold. Here's some platinum. Oh, 1 platinum. Okay, this is definitely the way. And we avoided that cave-in by moving around near it. Oh, oh my goodness, there's lots of stuff around here. We got to go down this corridor here. Okay, we got some sandstone. Got some easy digging there. Oh, I'm liking it. Guys, we are going to win this. We are going to win Miner VGA. Ask me how you win.
How do you win?
You don't.
Is it? I mean, it might be possible. What if you uncovered every single square?
You can buy more mineshaft.
Like infinitely?
I don't know if it's infinite, but you can certainly buy more. And then the more mineshaft you have, the more obviously you can dig. And the more you dig, the more money you can make. This is like a high score game. So you go for the highest possible score, you know? You wouldn't really understand because you don't really get like high scores in games because you're just not very good at games. But like it's kind of like where you try to be the best you can at a game and there's no real like cap on it. There's no completion. It's not like Assassin's Creed, you know?
Oh, okay. Wow.
I'm trolling. Luke's a much better gamer than me, like by a long shot.
Wow.
It's not even close.
I actually really enjoyed. Did you know I had a YouTube channel that wasn't that keyboard unboxing? Do you even know about this?
I don't know if I know about this.
I had an Assassin's Creed advanced difficulty tutorial channel.
Shut up.
Legitimately.
Okay.
So for Assassin's Creed 2, and this was back when like recording your gameplay was like rough, and there like actually wasn't a lot of Let's Play stuff on YouTube.
Like how'd you do it?
I don't even fully remember. I think it was like Fraps based or something.
Okay.
Like it was kind of like tough. But I used to do, so there used to be these things, I think it was called synchronization, where like the idea in Assassin's Creed is that you're reliving like memories of your ancestors, right? Well, I don't know what it is anymore, but that's what it was. And the synchronization is like doing it in the same way that your ancestor would have done it. There's certain things that will break synchronization, like if you kill civilians, it will like fail the mission because it's like, oh, that you broke synchronization by doing this. But there's certain like harder difficulty things that is like, oh, this is how they did it or whatever. And you can play through the game without getting essentially any of those. I think a lot of people will somewhat automatically probably get like 40 to 50%. But some of them are actually like genuinely really hard. So I made like little individual mission Let's Plays essentially that explained how to get like 100% synchronization. They're all gone. Nerd. They're definitely all gone. But that is a thing that I did. Yeah. I had a few different YouTube channels.
Welcome to St. Woody's. We are pleased to take care of you. In God we trust. All others pay cash. No insurance accepted. What type of service do you want?
Is this the bar?
You may be in need of surgery. Your bed rest will probably be about 5.1 days. Our fees
Whoa.
are quite reasonable. Press A to stay until mostly healed. Press D to stay 1 day and night. Press S for surgical procedures. $300. I have $1,000 from everything that I sold. Why are your videos gone anyway?
I think I just deleted the channel.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who does that?
Um.
You apparently, but why?
Yeah, I don't know why I did.
Take 2 aspirin and don't call, they say. Okay. Miner VGA. I'm going pro. Oh, I got 3 platinum. You know what? I'm going to go sell that right away because I only have $771, and that is just not enough to guarantee that I'm going to stay alive. Ooh, some silver too, though. Okay, I got some silver.
Has never had a good game. That's a terrible take.
What never had a good game?
Conrad's trying to say that Assassin's Creed never had a good game.
Wasn't like Assassin's Creed 2 like legendary?
Assassin's Creed 2 is an amazing game.
Wow, I think you are like ready to fight, aren't you?
It's just a bad take.
Wow.
And he calls himself a game reviewer. It's like what a all game reviewers, one bucket, dude. You're in it.
Wow, I think Luke's ready to fight.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. The vast majority of Assassin's Creed games are kind of trash. Remember Unity? Remember how unplayable Unity was?
Nope, didn't play it.
For like 6 generations.
Oh crap, I just accidentally
And then it
hit a
was
cave
finally
in.
playable again.
This playthrough may actually take too long to do here because I have figured out how to stay alive.
It's after 8. They have what do you call it? Candy? It's a chocolate. Yeah. They have a candy named after this time of day.
Which has something to do with anything because
I have work to do.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna call it. We're gonna call it on the Miner VGA Let's Play. But yeah, Miner VGA on playdosgames.com. You too can enjoy this snippet of my childhood. All right, see you later, guys.
Bye.
Well, we're totally still tuned in watching that. Miner VGA.
We should have a Miner VGA tournament.
I'm down.
Who can get the highest score in like an hour or something?